There we go. Alright, hello everyone. Hello, welcome back to the new and 51. Sorry for being like a minute late. Give me a moment here. Just so I can make sure that I can see the chat while I'm working. As usual, joining us today is Banana Meteor.
Hello, hello. Good to be here.
And Infinipede will be joining us very shortly as well. But we're going to start with Mr. Mime, and Mr. Mime is Banana Meteor's design, so we don't necessarily have to wait, but of course I hope that Infinipede will... Oh, that's not the link that I wanted. Hopefully Infinipede will show up before we actually start. And I will have you tell us what we're... actually, while I finish setting this up, why don't you start telling us what the concept is? What did you want to fix about Mr. Mime?
Should we put up my concept art when I say that? Or should I just kind of...
Start with like what you want to change about Mr. Mime. I'll have it up very soon.
Okay. So, what I wanted to change about Mr. Mime is a very humanoid Pokemon that may or may not be wearing clothes. And I used to be a big naysayer of clothes on Pokemon, but I think when you get to a point that your design is very human, it kind of looks weirder when you don't. The only thing on Mr. Mime that really denotes that it might be wearing clothing is there is like one line down its side that shows that its costume might pop apart, and like that line is included sometimes in Pokemon, like in official stuff. It's normally there, but it's like such an afterthought that it's not there sometimes.
Yeah.
So I kind of wanted to make Mr. Mime read less like a naked man and more like a cute friend.
Okay. They can see, or maybe you can see it now as well.
Yeah.
Your concept art is up now. And by the way, thank you, Sharon, for pointing out the echo. That was just me having my speakers on too loud again. So welcome, Sharon. Welcome, Blouse, Sir Peroil, James, Matthew, and Stream Elements Bot. Oh, and Gano. Welcome. Gano says, I just showed up and I'm already disturbed.
Yeah, this is a rough one for designs today. I think these two Pokemon are not well liked.
No. Yeah, I'm not sure that I ever thought of Mr. Mime, Cantonian Mr. Mime, as wearing clothes, except for the shoes maybe and the like gloves, but not so much like on the main body.
Right, but like on the bottom Sugimori art there, you see it has like a single seam on its side.
Yeah.
So I think it's supposed to be, weirdly enough.
Yeah. But Galarian Mr. Mime definitely looks like clothes.
Yeah, they went more that way. I think the very clear pants helped, and Mr. Rhyme is the same way, where it's more clothes-like, and I think that makes it a little more charming and a little less confusing to the brain.
Yeah. Looks like you went for a sexual dimorphism here.
I did. I thought it was a little silly that there's a Pokemon called Mr. Mime that can be either gender, which is kind of weird in a game where, like, sometimes Pokemon are just one gender. So I made it pretty subtle, but the differences are just in the hair, which is a little reminiscent of the accessory that they're wearing. The male is wearing the bow tie, the girl is wearing the ascot, and the little makeup on their face that's mime makeup. Underneath the male, we have like more clown reminiscent makeup, and the female has makeup above her eyes that kind of look like eyelashes.
Yeah. Personally, I am not a big fan of Pokemon that look like they're wearing clothing. I generally I don't really mind it if it's a pattern that looks like clothing, which I guess on Galarian Mr. Mime it could pass for that. Like it's just some ice on it that happens to look like a shirt and a tie. But yeah, personally, I am not a fan of being able to see into the pant leg.
I'm so sorry. I've dealt you some clothing-heavy designs here.
Yeah, the bow tie and the ascot, that it doesn't bother me much. The pant legs, though.
If that is a huge point of contention, we can kind of round them out like the sleeves are, so it looks a little more like it could be either or, sort of like a body silhouette.
Yeah.
I also think removing the buttons on the overalls would help it look a little less clothing-y while still keeping the overall look. Also, hi!
Hello! Infinipede, welcome!
Good to have you here. Yeah, I'm not too attached to the buttons either, if you guys are wanting to remove those.
I have zero preference. I definitely understand where both of you are coming from.
Yeah.
I feel you, though, more Banana Meteor in that when a Pokemon is so humanoid, it being, completely nude is a little odd.
Yeah.
But I also like when the clothing seems to be, fitting in more with the body. I'd say Gardevoir is a good example of that, as is Mr. Rhyme.
Yeah, I think you're probably right there. So if we want to make it a little more ambiguous, that's fine. I think Vanilla Mr. Mime is possibly too ambiguous for me. Mm-hmm. And one more thing I wanted to touch on is I did turn the quote-unquote skin tone into more of a bubblegum pink, because I think it's a little weird when it's more fleshy, and then we have to think about Mr. Mime's race, which is something that will also come into play with Jinx, which is no good.
Yeah, and you've seen my Jinx, and I have a lot to talk about with the concept of Jinx, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah, we'll get to that in part 2 of today's stream. But yeah, as far as the buttons, the buttons themselves actually don't bother me as much as the overlapping cloth. That is just underneath it. I feel if we just made the entire blue part just continuous, the buttons could still be there.
Okay.
And it
I'm
wouldn't.
open to it.
And it would, to me at least, I think it would look less like clothing and look more like a pattern that happens to look like clothing.
Right.
Yeah, and pattern would be kind of nice.
Yeah. Totally fine with that.
But I do like that. I like the way you did with the sleeves, because now it doesn't look like just dodgeballs.
Yeah. I thought it was interesting when I saw Detective Pikachu that they decided to use a very clear dodgeball texture for Mr. Mime, because, I don't know what I would have done in photorealism, but it sure didn't make sense for the typing and what Mr. Mime is. Mr. Mime is kind of a mess of a lot of different elements.
Think in Gen 1, given some of the discussion that's going on about Mr. Mime and Jynx being counterparts, I think in Gen 1 they might have been, but in Gen 2, Jynx, Electabuzz, and Magmar were more counterparts, and now Jynx is kind of her own thing again, because she doesn't have an evolution.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, we didn't go into this...
Just to answer Charon's question, no, they were not redesigned as counterparts at all. They were grouped for the stream just for the purposes of having fewer streams and not having just 2 1-hour streams. We can do 1 2-hour stream and get both of them done.
They're also creepy humanoid psychic types.
Yes, well that's the reason these 2 particular ones were grouped. Is they're just the creepy psychic types. but they were also redesigned by two different people. So Mr. Mime was by Banana Meteor, and Infinipede did Jinx. So they were redesigned totally separately. Yeah. Do you like any of the Mr. Mime poses? 'Cause you clearly drew it in a completely original pose, but we do often go for the Mr. Mime or for the original poses, but
I think I would like to keep one where it's in the glass box, and I think that the one that does that the best is the bottom one, just because I think that's a very mimey trait. Also, interesting to me that Mr. Mime used to have 4 fingers, and then Japan said, no, bad, number 4 bad, and now that's 5 fingers.
And then Galarian Mr. Mime just has 2?
All the mitts, yeah, for real.
Which I guess makes sense because those are probably a little bit warmer.
Yeah, I know a more modern design, as shown by our side art there, would have 5. I prefer 4 just because, like, I think it looks less cluttered, but maybe that's just my Western sensibilities. So, like, whatever you want to do there is fine.
Yeah, I just looking at the difference between the modern official art and then the Gen 1. The modern official art has a lot of fingers.
Yeah.
That's a lot of fingers.
I feel like if they grouped them differently, it wouldn't look as cluttered, but I'm down with 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's where I'm
It
at.
is not finished already, Matt. And Banana Meteor just goes, like, way, like, just, what is the word? Overachieving with her concept.
I like
No,
to
it's
color.
good.
And I always want to make sure that my concepts are very readable, too. I'm afraid that if I don't render it enough, you guys will be like, what does this mean? I'll be like, oh no! Because I'm not the best at speaking about it. So if I can show it visually, it's the best for me.
I like seeing your concept art.
Yeah, for sure. I should write on the screen what the concept is.
Clothes.
I think if I just write concept, clothes, I think someone coming into the stream a little bit later on might not quite know what that means. Just maybe.
I was not being serious.
So more, I guess, embrace the clothing aspects.
Yeah, I would say that.
Embrace the clothing design.
Oh, I did give them lipstick as well. I didn't touch on that, but I gave both the male and female lipstick because it's just something that felt very mimey to me. So hopefully no one hates that.
I can't say I particularly associate lipstick with my makeup, but it doesn't bother me. It would only bother me.
Have lipstick, so.
Sorry, say that again.
I felt like it went well with the blush that's already applied to it, like the red Pikachu cheeks. So it felt natural to me. I don't know if people will like it or not.
It doesn't really bother me. I think I would just probably make the lips themselves a little bit more understated and not just like outline them. So it's totally just fine. Like just a pattern, but like that's a fairly small, fairly minimal difference. It would have bothered me if you had put like the lipstick on the female and not on the male, like a Wobbuffet kind of thing.
Yeah.
I tried to keep them very lateral. I wanted to do like one that made sense, so it's not weird when you have a Mr. Mime that's not like a boy, but like it was also pretty lateral, so they both look like the same Pokemon.
So, the concept: embrace the clothing design, small gender differences. Anything else I should put on here for anyone who shows up later?
Make them less fleshy, I guess, because I went with the bubblegum.
Right.
And I also, of course, kind of did like a tights thing for their legs, but it's again, you can, if we don't make it look super clothy, that can also just be like a pattern that they have on them.
Yeah. No, the legs, the feet, that part doesn't bother me at all. Avimon suggests adding black and whites to the design, and I guess I do associate more like black and white with mimes.
I think the reason that I picked the color scheme I did is because I wanted to make sure that I was showing they were still psychic and fairy, and I felt like if I put in more neutral tones, it would kind of move more to a normal type.
Right. Trying to think if there's some other subtle way, like if we made the blue black, for example. But like, yeah, like the colors work fine for me.
I won't be like mad if we change the navy to a black, but I do just love colors, which is probably why I made mine even a little more colorful than Vanilla Mime.
Yeah.
Tights might be fun, like quote-unquote tights, you know what I mean, legs.
Yeah.
Alright, so should I try doing both of them in the same pose? Like, if I do both of them in the same pose, I can easily just, like, copy and paste it and just change the necessary parts. Or I could even reflect it, more or less like you did.
I think reflecting it's fine. I kind of did them in the same pose because I wanted to show them on equal footing. So if you want to do the same thing, go ahead.
Okay, so you like the pose on the bottom most, right?
I do. I would probably make him, well, them, a little less chunky than the one is on the bottom.
Yeah,
but,
they definitely need to be, like, stretched out a little bit.
Yeah, I made them a bit more lanky, I guess, which feels very mime-like to me.
Yeah, that's fair.
Talking fleshy, like light flesh tone Mr. Mime just makes me think of like that one Homestuck panel before the edit where it's like, I feel so Caucasian!
Thinking of the same thing. It gets strange when Pokemon incorporate flesh tones in, because, like, I don't know, people have races. Pokemon don't have races. Like, what the heck?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like, I get that they're trying to do sort of a very light pink, but it's not pink enough.
Yeah, it definitely reads as a white man, which is weird.
Yeah. Yeah. Another option for the skin would be to just make it white.
I thought of that, but then the gloves I felt blended in a little too much to the design, and I feel like the gloves do work best when they're white.
And then it would really be a Homestuck.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm not familiar with the reference, so...
All the characters in the webcomic Homestuck, they're just like, #5Fs white.
5 Fs?
Like the hex code for white.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
They're like
that's...
white.
They're white in the sense that, like, they're white, not like their race.
Yeah, like the color is
Gotcha.
white.
Yeah, like the background color here.
Yeah, like they're that color white. And then like the shading is like a light gray.
Gotcha. Well, I think I'm like more or less to start the drawing with the proportions of the Mr. Mime that we're using for reference, and then I'll just stretch it out accordingly because I think that's easier for me.
Yeah, sorry I've dealt you such a weird hand on this one, especially when you don't like clothes on Pokemon, because, whoops, really leaned into that.
How dare you put clothes on Pokemon when Pokemon have clothes?
I bet you love Sock and Throw.
Oh God, I love the version of Sock and Throw that I made.
I think oh my god, I have to look that up now. I vaguely remember that.
Yeah, it's probably a couple years old at this point. But yeah, so Sock and Throw, like Hitmonchan gets a little bit more of a pass, but only because of nostalgia. The Hitmonlee is fine. But yeah, it's like Infinipede said, it does work better for me when the clothes kind of blend into the body, like with Gardevoir.
Yeah.
Like if I only look at the like bottom half of Gardevoir, I'm probably gonna be like, that's a bit too much clothing. But then, like if you look at the top half of Gardevoir, then it's like, oh, there's no clothing here.
Right.
Because it blends in really well.
Gardevoir is very popular, if maybe not for the reasons that the Pokemon Company thought, but clearly they did a good design there.
It's a...
Yeah.
Sorry, say that again, Infinipede?
It's a solid design. Sorry, I'm talking Digimon with Banana Meteor's hubby.
Okay. No,
Should I yell at him?
I think you just cut out a little bit. So.
I was the one who started the conversation. I'm getting one of those Digimon Fitbits, so I'm telling him like be prepared for like a bunch of pictures when I get one. Because he's like one of the few people I know who's really into Digimon.
Yeah, deeply so. He recently sold all his Magic the Gathering cards and used all the money to buy Digimon boxes, and I respect it.
He told me, and he also told me don't get into it because I really like Diaboromon and Armageddon, and the best versions of them are promos. And so it's like I would be paying a lot to run a Diaboromon deck, and I'm like, oof.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, I gave it more fingers than I was supposed to. That's okay. I'll fix this. This is just a very rough, let's figure out the proportion sketch. It's fine.
What if instead of 4 or 5, we give it 6?
Diaboromon's the random Digimon on the wiki. Huh.
There you go.
Yeah. Interesting. I wonder if this is a sign.
Now you have to get into it.
Damn it. I mean, I want to get into it, actually, so someday. It's just I got into Warhammer, so that's taken all my money.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of fun. Like, me and my girlfriend play it a lot. We go every Friday, so...
When you're an adult,
to like an in-person tournament kind of thing?
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, Infinipede said that you and your girlfriend go every Friday to like a tournament, to like an in-person tournament, or...
Yeah, it's not a tournament, it's just casual play.
Okay.
So it's what's called Path to Glory, which is the like narrative version of Warhammer Age of Sigmar, where you start with about 600 points of figures, which is maybe like a couple units of guys, and from there you do like you name your models and stuff. And you have battles where you earn points to build up your army, and they can like die. You can lose models. So it's like a narrative thing, and your whole army like has a name and a story and stuff. It's a lot of fun.
Huh.
So Namakemon is the sloth from the Vital Bracelet, the one that I'm getting. Not the exact card I'm getting for the Vital Bracelet, I'm getting the Gamamon one. But it is very cute, and I like it. I tend to prefer, like, insect-y Digimon. So, I definitely appreciate Namakemon, though. And I do play some D&D, if I don't know who's asking about D&D. I play 5e sometimes.
Gano is asking for a beret on design. Don't get me wrong, I did try one out, but it felt weirdly counterintuitive to Mime's design. I feel like the bald head was too iconic for it, so it looked a little cluttered and it looked a little less like Mime.
Interesting.
Maybe I just did it bad, but I wasn't in love with it when I tried it.
So April, I play Sylvaneth, and I have maybe like 800 something points of Night Haunt, as well as I'm currently building like 600-ish points of Ossiarch Bone Reapers. I like too many armies to not build like just path to like 600 points path to glory stuff for them. Because I like having options. Last Friday I played exclusively Night Haunt, and I went undefeated somehow, so I don't know how that happened.
Avemon, you have a very similar feeling about this design to Libris. I think Libris is going to lean more towards that, where I feel more okay with just clothes, but that's just me.
Well, we'll start. I think I'll start with basically doing what you did, and then we can just like try to just like the little variations, like what if the pant legs are closed, and go back and.
I'm totally fine with making the pant legs closed. I'm totally fine with making the layers on the suspenders more of a pattern instead of like a clothing.
Yeah.
Totally fine.
As far as just like a very rough pose and proportion, does this look okay?
Yeah, that looks totally fine.
Cool.
Oh, something minor that I'll touch on that is not very crucial, but I did add little tiny bells to the shoes just because that felt a little more fairy-like to me.
Okay. I mean, I noticed the bells, but for the fairy, like to me, it's a little bit more elf. But I guess elves would be fairy type, probably. So
yeah, I think it falls into that same like fantasy weirdness.
Yeah. Let's start with the face.
Anyone in chat would like to make a fan design of my fan design of Mr. Mime wearing a beret, you are more than welcome to. Make your Mr. Mime OC. Have them with less of a bald head. I support you. You are valid. Maybe if this Mr. Mime was in Mystery Dungeon, that would be like its accessory.
Yeah, definitely. I could see it.
Are there any held items that are hats? Because like
Rocky helmet. Rocky helmet's
I guess so.
Yeah. A Rocky helmet.
Yeah, because a lot of held items are just like a thing they wear, like a scarf or black glasses.
Yeah.
I mean, you could take like a focus band as being a headband.
Right.
Yeah.
For sure. I think it's really charming when people draw their competitive Pokemon with like the item that they have. Like, yes, Very
I
cute.
think it's really charming when people draw their competitive Pokemon. Period.
For sure.
You gave the head a little bit of a bulge on the cheeks, I'm noticing.
I did. That's something that the newer Sugimori art and Galarian has, but if you don't want to make it as pronounced, that is fine.
No, it's fine. I guess I see it on the modern Sugimori. Like it's not as pronounced as you made it, but it is definitely more pronounced than it was on like the red and blue art, the one in the middle.
Yeah, for sure.
My girlfriend's drawing. Apparently, she's drawing the warlord of her Gaven army, who is a Grayseer who hangs out on top of a screaming bell, and she's green. She has this whole story behind her army, where there's Skaven who worship like Skaven Jesus, who's called the Green Rat. And so the rat is like painted itself green to look like the Green Rat, but it's not actually the Green Rat. So there's like this whole backstory to like complex backstory to her army. So I think that's pretty awesome. Like my army, my main army, the Sylvaneth, is just the Florida men. And my warlord is Ricket de Sandbar. And then I got the Gator Hunters and the boys. And I have one model that's like, he's got eggs hatching, like bug eggs that like hover over his head. So and he's a musician, so his name is Snoop Egg.
Oh no.
Yeah. It's I just went like whole meme on that one. My other ones are a little less memey, but I don't know why I came up with the idea of like having them be like mangrove themed. So I was like, oh, Florida.
Is the chat having like 3 different conversations at the same time? It happens.
Too many things going on.
No, someone doesn't like toxicity.
Who is it? They're wrong.
I know, right?
I am in the same boat here.
Of liking or of
Matthew
not
doesn't like
liking?
toxicity.
No, I like it. I think it's great.
Okay.
Plus,
I
I am very biased towards any Pokemon that has like a form change or just like aesthetic nonsense. So the fact that there's 2 different forms, love it. Love it.
Maybe also there's people having a discussion about the effects of Umbrella. I love
the
Skuntank,
tactical
Matthew.
umbrella.
I
Okay.
can at least like I can say I love both Toxtricity and Skuntank. Skuntank is a solid freaking design.
Skuntank like never really did much for me, but I certainly don't dislike it. It looks good.
Yeah.
I guess it just never like caught my attention too much.
Yeah, I can get that. Like I like it a lot because it's a skunk with like its tail is like a pompadour and it's like a punk skunk.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's great, but nothing is better than the sprite in Gen 4 facing backwards, so if you put flamethrower on it, it comes out of its butt. It's
Yes!
It's perfect.
I played against somebody last night in Warhammer who has like his army was like a bunch of like Troggoths. They're like big trolls. And one of them was supposed to have like a vomit effect, but he painted it red, so it looked like the troll was just barfing fire. It was so good. But yes, fire fart is great. I like Aromatisse. I wanted a Plague Doctor, but Aromatisse is good for what it is. I just hope someday we do get a more obviously Plague Doctor, like a poison, like regional variant.
Yeah, that would be neat for it. Someone in chat says, I love Mr. Mime, that's my guy. I agree! Mr. Mime is sweet. It's nice to see that the 10 fans of Mr. Mime are out today. We see you.
Like, I don't like Mr. Mime, but I appreciate people who like Pokemon that, like, don't get a lot of love.
That's fair.
My husband is quite into playing Mr. Mime in Pokemon Unite, and I thought he was a very weird pull for Pokemon Unite, so that's nice. I like the weird ones that get in, like Eldegoss, don't know why they're there, but cool.
Crustle!
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Charon, like, basically just started playing Unite because Crustle was in it. Like, because Crustle is such a weird choice to put in it.
Yeah, those are the fun ones, though. Like, whenever you play, like, a Pokemon game, you know that, like, Charizard and Pikachu and Gengar are gonna be there, and there's gonna be some Eevees. Like, you know that. But, like,
Yeah.
Crustle? What a delight. What a delight.
Skuntank would be great for Pokemon Unite, because you could retreat and then just fart on people. It could, like, make them go slower.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Get some AoE farts in there.
Yeah, I don't play Pokemon Unite, and I don't think my friend Mark does either. I call him Mork to my Syracuse friends because we had another friend named Mark who moved to Vermont. But my friend Mark, is huge on, like, crab Pokemon. So I don't think he plays Pokemon Unite, but I think if he did, he would definitely play Crustle.
Pokemon are cute. I really like Crabrawler. I think it might be my favorite crab Pokemon.
Crabrawler is the best crab. I agree. Oh, if anyone watches Crit Crab at all, he does, like, he reads, like, D&D stories. He just put out, like, a plushie, and it's so freaking cute. I gotta get one. If I do, I'll probably give it to Mark because, like, I feel like he would appreciate it more than I do because it's crab. But I definitely, like, I collect cat plushies and cat adjacent things. But I definitely, I can appreciate the cute crab plushie. I don't like Crabominable as much as Crabrawler. We've been over this in chat before, but he grew on me. He definitely grew on me.
Well, that's a weird looking hand, but I mean, it's a Mr. Mime hand, so.
Hands are hard.
Yes, hands are always hard, but also it's Mr. Mime. How is it not going to be a weird looking hand?
There's no Isopod Pokemon. Still waiting for, like, a proper millipede Pokemon. Like, we've got 2 centipedes. We don't have a millipede.
Maybe someday. We can hope.
Yeah, Yeah, I hope so. I feel like there's definitely
I think the Venipede line is technically a millipede. Like pillbugs are millipedes.
100% centipedes.
No, well they've got a bit of both, but pillbugs are millipedes.
Pillbugs are not millipedes. Pillbugs
Well,
are
no, okay, there's multiple things that are called pillbugs, but
I don't know.
some of them
where
are millipedes.
Millipedes are called pillbugs. There's pillipedes. Those are different. The Japanese name for scolipede is it references Scolopendra, which is the scientific name for centipedes.
Yeah, so they've got a bit of both, but
They're primarily centipedes.
yeah.
I have had this argument with people before. Also, the speed stat and like general speed of Scolipede. Centiskorch definitely looks more like a centipede to me. Centipedes are like flatter.
Yeah. Yeah, that
okay.
one for sure.
Centipedes are venomous. They bite. They are typically flatter. They typically have less legs. And they're usually not as long. Millipedes will often curl up if threatened. More legs, often longer, more sort of like a dome shape of the body. Slower, certainly slower. They're not venomous. They can be poisonous, but they don't like bite to inject their poison. Also, I like Hoopa. I like Unleashed Hoopa a lot. It's one of my favorite legendaries.
Oh yeah, Hoopa Unleashed is pretty cool.
It is neat.
But I mean, I never watched the movie, but I wish it had more lore to it. Like the whole thing, of course. Like not just Unleashed, but I don't know if maybe they go more into it in the movie, but
Thank you for going more into that, Gano. But yeah, pill millipedes are schmoll millipedes. No, they're not always multiples of 10. It's just the name. Yeah, I used to have a pet millipede before African giant black millipedes were banned from being imported, and they cost like $20 a pop, and now they're like a bunch more money because they're hard to breed. Yeah, sometimes they have infinite legs. That's me.
It always sucks when you're like interested in getting something for a reasonable price and you're like, oh cool, I'll internalize that price, and then you like come back a couple years later and you're like, oh never mind. It's just changed.
yeah.
Next time I get an invert, it's probably going to be either a rhino beetle, or I might get a vinegaroon, because they're cool.
What is that second one?
They're a whip scorpion. They have they look kind of like scorpions, but instead of sting tail, they have like a whip for a tail. They don't like sting or bite. They got like big clubby claws, and they're black, and they're called vinegaroons because they spray, if they're really bothered, they'll spray like a vinegar smelling acid. It's like really mild though. And they're pretty they're pretty chill, and you can handle them pretty easily, and they'll just walk around on you. I'll put a picture of one in the chat. Well, I mean in the text for voice chat.
Okay.
But They're really cool looking. You can only really find them online though, but that's not a huge issue. They look like horrible alien monsters, but they're also just super chill raccoons. They're friends. Like, the one thing that makes me maybe want a Vinegaroon over a Rhino Beetle is that Rhino Beetles are only gonna live like a year or two, whereas Vinegaroons can live like a decade. That said, I do have pet rats, and those live like 2 years. So,
Gosh, rats are so cute. I'm so tempted to get pet rats someday.
you should. They're so smart and they're so sweet.
I thought you
Like,
did
no
have
no
pet
disrespect
rats, or were
to
they
mice, but I think rats are like more people social.
That's what I've heard. Obviously, I don't have a lot of point of reference for rats, and I understand what people mean because I have some mice that are not super sociable, but I also have mice that are. So
Yeah.
it's very animal dependent. It's very dependent on the personality and
Definitely.
how you treat them.
I'd also say, like, if you want more, like, just chill, like, people social rats, go for males.
Yeah.
From my experience, males tend to be just, like, they're just sit around, like, hey, what's up? I got females, because, like, I am way more bothered by, like, rodent testicles than, like, I ever care to admit.
Well,
Well, you just admitted.
I mean, I don't blame you because, like, I don't know if people in chat have seen what male rats look like, but, like, God, they have some balls. They're huge.
Yeah, they got massive fucking balls. Also, like, Syrian hamsters, like, they're all furry, and then they turn around and you look at their balls, and they're, like, nude balls, and I'm just like, why?
For me, I generally stick to the female rodents because for mice, you can't house males together. They're too aggressive and they'll just fight. So
And they pee everywhere.
yeah, they smell a lot worse from the marking. I've heard that they tend, like rats, they tend to bond to people better, but like it's
Yeah.
just
Female
Yeah.
rats are a little more skittish. Mine don't like being held quite as much, but I have one who's like super skittish, and then I have one who's like, yo, you give me food, I will sit anywhere.
yeah.
And she's super chill. I like my lady rats. I like letting them out and watching them explore. I have a couple puzzle toys my cat does not like to use, so I've repurposed them for my rats, and they like them. Mr. Mime's looking good, by the way.
Yeah, I was about to ask. How's it
Yeah,
going?
sorry for
Getting
getting on the
places.
topic of rodent balls.
Chat was pretty happy about that turn.
Yeah, I didn't
Or at
complain.
least intrigued.
Yeah, I mean, I work at PetSmart, and I work in pet care, so I see a lot of like rodent balls.
I have 5 pet mice. It's only a matter of time. It's like a chimpanzee with a typewriter. Eventually, we're just gonna get to rodent balls. I think the arms. Obviously, you're going over the sketch now. I think the
Yeah.
arms and the legs are a little thin, but
Oh, okay.
it's looking good.
Yeah, definitely the arms.
Yeah, I can make when I do the next round, I can make the thickness more consistent,
Right.
easily.
I know you're still.
But
in the
no, right now I
sketching
wanted
stage.
to fix the hands because they both look weird.
It's tricky. Try to make them very open and rigid, like they would be against a wall. You don't have to make them too relaxed.
Right. Yeah. Now I think is like what's bothering me more. I think is the position of the fingers. That's the part I really don't like, but yes, they do need to look more like they are right up against the wall as well, so... Well, still needs some adjustment, but that definitely looks better.
Yeah, I definitely think that's got more of a up against the wall.
Yeah.
Post Malone Pokemon card.
Yeah, there is one. Like, they just...
And the Katy Perry Pokemon card.
Yeah.
I just love that those exist. That's... Pokemon is great.
I love that there's canonical Pokemon media of Post Malone singing in front of Lugia about how he was only in a relationship for the sex. Great stuff, Pokemon Company.
I think the Post Malone song, of all the ones that I've heard, I think the Post Malone song was the only one that I was like, oh, that looks alright, or that sounds alright, because it had the Critique City theme mixed into it. And it's like, okay, now that, like, maybe the theme of the lyrics doesn't fit, but at least, like, there's Pokemon in the music, and not just in the music video. All the other ones, not only did I not like the music, I also thought that it, like, what does this have to do with Pokemon?
Yeah, a lot of it seems like tie-ins just for the sake of, like, just having a celebrity name. Like, today on my feed, I saw J Balvin breakdancing with Hitmontop, and I was like, why is this a thing? Why does this exist?
Yeah.
Maybe Lugia is just like a good confidant, and like Post Malone's just trying to get his feelings out in front of like an empathetic Pokemon. It is a psychic type.
That's a good point.
For the person asking, I don't know who they're asking about 3.5. I'm not personally a fan. I played a bit of it. I really prefer 5th edition. I just like... I like it when an RPG system feels like it's not in the way of the storytelling.
Why do I still not like this hand? There is the one aspect that I just have never liked drawing hands.
That's a common thing for artists, so do not feel bad.
Oh, I know.
I mean,
I know.
When you look at how many bones and joints hands have, like, no wonder, no wonder it's hard to draw. Yeah, I wish a lot of stuff from 3.5 was in 5th edition, but I like the rules for 5th edition so much better. Because again, like, I feel like there's so many rules that you have to keep track of and remember in 3.5 that, like, I want to concentrate on telling a good story with my characters, and, you know, also having fun in the combat kind of stuff. I don't want to have to constantly keep track of like a ton of stats and a ton of rules, where that's not what I'm primarily concerned with in tabletop RPG as a GM or as a player. I will say I don't DM D&D. I GM Invisible Sun, and I'm looking into GMing some other smaller indie RPGs like Asunder and Coyote and Crow. But right now it's just Invisible Sun. So the lower hand looks good. The upper hand, I'm trying to figure out what would be a good.
Well, the upper hand I haven't touched on yet, but
yeah,
it's the lower hand. I don't know. The positions of the fingers still don't look right to me. Maybe I just need to more evenly distribute their angles.
maybe reference how wide the gap between the thumb and the rest of the fingers is on that original Mime drawing.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah.
But it's like it's completely splayed open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that makes it look more like it is, like, touching the wall.
Okay, I'll try that.
Super Royal. I love drawing good hands in Magic the Gathering. And Keyforge. I played my first game of Keyforge a couple days ago. That was fun. Super Royal, try Magic the Gathering Arena. It's probably the easiest way to get into Magic.
Banana Meteor, this is your design. Do you like the very, like, overly wide hand or the more natural hand? And, like, I can do something in between, but...
What do you mean by the more natural hand?
Well, because the Mr. Mime on the bottom left, the one that I just copied the hand out of, the, like, pinky, basically, and thumb, they're, like, directly opposite each other on the palm. And that's obviously not what our palms do.
Okay with that on this Sugimori art. I feel like it brings a lot of like tension into the hand, which I think is cool. If you want to exaggerate it a little less, that's fine. But what I kind of like about that is there's a very clear difference between the fingers and the thumb.
Okay. I can just use that one then. Or, you know, reference that pose more closely. So, put that one away. Is that better? Does that look...
Yeah, I think
more
that does look better.
hand-like.
Looks more dynamic. I didn't really keep the bulbous fingers of the design.
Yeah. No, and I didn't either, so.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. Well, I guess I'm okay with the way that looks. It still looks wacky to me. Maybe I just need to make the thumb shorter.
I like where it's at, but you could try shorter thumb.
Yeah. I think I also need to adjust like just the joints of the 3 fingers because I don't know, they don't look right to me.
Fingers, am I right? Hands are
Yeah.
just rough.
Yeah.
And I'm like you, Libris. I don't draw a lot of people, so like when I have to draw something humanoid, I'm like, ugh.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah. Silly humans.
Why would I draw a human when I can draw a dog?
But you could draw a furry and draw both.
For me, it's more like, why would I draw a human when I can draw a thing that doesn't exist?
Yeah.
And then I don't have to
Draw a
care about the
humanoid
proportions.
I think I did okay with my concept art, but even then I was like, humans? Gross.
Yeah. No, I think you did fine with your concept arts, but I also think that the pose you chose for the hands is a little bit easier to get right because the fingers are all together.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is fair.
Yeah, I wish I could help you guys, but, like, I'm not amazing at hands, and even if I was better at hands, I'm not good at hands.
You wouldn't
that are
wanna help
pressed against
anyway.
a wall.
Yeah, like, obviously I do hope that it looks reasonably as if it's up against the wall, but for me, like, as long as it looks like a hand, like, that's enough for me. Alright, did that help? Yeah. Yeah, I think that
Yeah.
looks better.
Yeah. Looks great. Don't be too hard on yourself.
Oh, I'm going to be extremely hard on myself. You don't even know how hard I can be on myself.
Perfect is the enemy of good.
Oh.
I want
Nah,
to see this mime.
it's fine.
Somebody put this mime in the text for voice. I want a mime with a beret. I mean, not this mime, but just like. Now I gotta get on Twitter if it's tweeted.
Like Twitter. Maybe I'm weird.
No, you're fine. I just don't like Twitter because I don't like getting like hate.
Yeah.
That said, I haven't gotten hate since I opened my account, so hooray!
Yeah. I feel like in any community, if you seek out hateful stuff, like it's there, but I like just try to surround myself on Twitter with the media that I like and enjoy, and the people that are sweet to me.
Yeah, the problem is that, like, the Danganronpa fandom is made up of, like, 13-year-olds. Which is funny, considering, you know, it's not really a game for 13-year-olds. Whatevs. I just shitpost, mostly, so...
That's the best way to use social media.
And I haven't done like a lot of original like art lately, so I haven't really used my art account. But when I do, I'll post it.
Yeah.
I got some markers recently, so that's been fun. That's what I've been doing.
Markers are... I noticed that your Jinx concept is in markers that we'll see later, and that looks great.
It is cute. I'm hoping to get more colors soon. No problem, April. I just randomly saw you in my suggested, and I'm like, oh, I know her.
Yeah, I hope I don't lose power too. We have a storm outside, and
oh, same. We did.
I should touch base on last week. So sorry.
Oh
everyone.
yeah, right. Yeah, let's tell people what happened.
The reason that we didn't have a stream last week is someone outside my neighborhood in the middle of the night was very drunk and hit a large transformer that gives power to our neighborhood. And they took out the transformer. I don't know if they're okay, but there was a large burning smell that I woke up to in the house because...
Sure it wasn't a Decepticon hitting an Autobot.
I am 100% sure. Eventually, we did get power routed to the neighborhood from a different transformer, but there were people outside of our neighborhood for a good 2 days just working on fixing and installing a new one because it was totally ruined.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Wow. Yeah. No, when I told my girlfriend that your power went out due to a transformer, her joke was about Decepticons.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. So I completely, Esme gets like 100% credit for that joke.
No, you can't talk about Transformers without someone mentioning robots in disguise. It was a huge electrical box too.
Dang.
Like probably like 4 feet high, like a 4 foot by 4 foot box, I would say.
Wow.
And I don't even really know how they hit it because it was kind of nestled behind a tree. But like, alcohol is powerful because like they managed to do it.
Yeah, I gotta ask my mom if that happened to her, because my mom and Banana Meteor live in the same neighborhood.
Yeah, it might have been more towards the entrance to the neighborhood that I'm near, but like,
Yeah.
there's a good chance that she also experienced it.
My mom didn't mention anything, but I will ask her out of curiosity. Well, later. We had a tornado warning this morning after like half an hour after I got into work, and I paged people on the radio, like, hey, has anybody heard that tornado warning? And like the one manager who was in at the time was like, yeah. And I felt really bad because we had people coming in for grooming, because that starts at like 7. Then there was a guy with like 2 dogs outside in the pouring rain knocking on the door, and like I was inside the bird enclosure, which is sort of like, it feels like being in jail. It's like you're in like bird jail. And I was like,
Is that
oh,
what
snap.
jailbird
So I let
comes
myself
from?
out. The best way I can describe it is like, we have 2 large like glass boxes with parakeets on one end, and then 4 smaller glass boxes with finches on another end. And then the back of that, opposite from the parakeets, is completely just metal. And then you go around to the other side opposite from the finches, and there's a door. If you use the code on that door, you get inside the enclosures where you can access like the food and water and stuff for the birds. and it's just like this tiny, like, several foot by several foot space. And I feel like I'm in, like, a prison when I'm in there. Believe it or not, it's better than what we used to have, though. It's a new enclosure we got, like, a couple weeks ago, and it's so much better. Like, you can fit, like, a couple more things in there, and you don't feel like you're in, like, a underfunded prison, just a regular prison.
That's better?
I mean, you only have to be in there for a couple minutes, so.
Alright, I think I'm satisfied with the proportions generally, so I'm just going to clean up the like overlapping parts so that we can play around with those variations that we talked about and see what we like more.
Yeah, it's a lot now. You did a good job.
I got there eventually.
Can whoever posted the beret mime tag me in it? Infiniworks Pixel. Oh, I saw it. Thank you. It's really cute. I like it.
Oh, tag me in that too. Throw me in there.
You are tagged in it.
Oh, there we
Also,
go.
Lynn, I'm gonna follow you from my art account.
Yeah, let me give that a nice retweet. That is super cute. I love what you came up with.
I will have to look at it eventually.
It kind of reminds me of Smeargle. Maybe it's the three face that's just bringing me to that, but I really like it.
I love Smeargle, so...
Sorcerers and druids, Matthew, for D&D. I'd probably pick sorcerer over druid if I had to pick, but I like them both. I like being able to use magic, and I don't like wizards.
Okay, I think I have it cleaned up enough. I'll hide that little bit of chin on the behind the bow tie.
It looks great. I think you definitely translated Banana Meteor's idea to the pose, like, super well.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, I'm happy. I'm definitely happy with that part. Maybe not so happy with the fingers, but you know.
I think the fingers honestly look great. I don't know if we want to bend the legs. We don't really need to. It's still like a totally competent pose. But if you just wanted to make it more like the bottom left one, we definitely want to bend the knees a little more.
I didn't want to. Because I started it with a pose that was more bent legs, and I straightened them out a little bit because I didn't want it to look like unnaturally crouching.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's just like it's a mime, but it's doing squats at the same time.
Matthew, what's your favorite, like, out of the regular classes? Also, I see Libris as more of a wizard. Maybe like a wizard druid, like.
Well, the character that Gano is referring to is the one that I'm actually playing in our campaign. So I'm a druid owl person.
Oh, nice.
But like we literally just started. We had our like pre-session or session 0 where we just like figured out. You know, we talked about our characters and all that kind of stuff, just to kind of get to know each other, and then we had our first session where our characters actually meet, and we had one fight. That's as far as we got, but we have got another session on Monday.
I'm excited. I'm excited to hear more about this. I mean, if I was to say you as a person, I'd say you'd be a wizard, but I can see you playing a druid. Yes, Raphael, you can be a gay pirate.
Are pirates not supposed to all be gay? News to me.
I mean, there are straight and bi and probably even some ace pirates. Definitely arrow pirates.
Oh no, don't talk about Critical Role. My husband will show up.
Oh,
I
he's not
am
here
sick
already.
of hearing about Crit Roll just because I'm a fan of Pillars of Eternity, and every time I bring up PoE 2, someone's like, "Oh, you know the game that Crit Roll they did the voices in?" And I'm like, "Oh my god, shut up! I just want to talk about how good this game is."
Critical Role, obviously, it's popular because it's good, but like any media, when it gets popular, like you just hear about it everywhere.
It just reaches oversaturation, and I'm just not interested.
Yeah.
My girlfriend is into this like really small D&D podcast I've listened to a couple episodes of because she's had it on, Trials and Trebuchets, and it's pretty good. I would give that a recommendation.
Wonderful title for that podcast. Love it.
I know, right? It's also about like a magic school. So like, hey, if you want an alternative to Harry Potter where the creators aren't TERFs, there you go.
Not too long ago, I listened to a audiobook because I had an Audible subscription for a while, and it includes like once a month you get a handful. I don't remember how many, like 2 or 3 Audible originals and stuff. That you just get for free. And I listened to this one. I don't know if it was the first book in a series or if it was a standalone, but it was about a magical school, basically. But it was entirely based on music. So, like, you play music to cast your magic. And it was, like, actually really good. It was probably, like, middle grade, so about the same age or like reading level as early Harry Potter.
Cool.
But yeah, it was really good. I don't remember the name of it off the top of my head now, but I can probably look it up later. But yeah, it's basically like a magical Juilliard kind of thing.
Yeah, middle grade books have some of like just some really great books in there.
Yeah, and I listened to the audiobook, which meant there was actual music being played.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was a book that was actually not released to at the time. Now it's probably out, but at the time that I listened to it, the print book wasn't out yet, but they had made the Audible original audiobook, and it was really good. I would highly recommend it if I could remember the name.
So, Serper Royal. I would highly recommend either going to the Wizards of the Coast site and using their store finder to see if anywhere near you does Adventurers League, which is sort of like a light D&D experience where you start with like a level 1 character and there's a paid DM there who will kind of walk you through sort of like just the official official adventures. I've had a lot of fun doing Adventurers League. It's where I played my druid. It's definitely like a lighter experience because, you know, they're not really going to get deep into characterization or anything like that. But if to sort of see if you like D&D and like the mechanics of it, I think it's a really good option. Alternatively, you could try and find a beginner-friendly game on something like Roll20, which is going to be like an online game. But
Or
they have,
or you can join the Umbreon Libra server and join our campaign, because most of us are beginners. We don't really know what we're doing. And we like just started the campaign, so it would actually be really easy to join. So the Umbreon Libra server is friends and supporters only, but like you can join the Patreon or the YouTube membership with just $1 a month, and then you're in. And
I'm always surprised like how much the server is popping off every time I jump in there. I'm not terribly good at keeping up on social media, but I like step in there and I'm like, wow, so many notifications.
I can't keep up with anything, so I just jump on like when I'm on here. I sometimes check out what's going on.
Yeah. I mean, I pretty much only keep up with my server. Like, I don't go on any other servers.
Yeah, like, the server, like, I get on servers when I have stuff to show.
Yeah.
Just for fun. And I do keep up with the Age of Sigmar stuff from my local server. Because that goes pretty slowly, and it's usually people being like, hey, who wants to play at the store on Friday? And just figuring out, like, who's there. So that's useful, like, as something to keep up with. And then I have a couple of YouTubers who do, they'll, like, post notifications on Discord when they're online, or when they post a new video, so.
Yeah, which is what I do as well. What else did we talk about as potential, like, variations? So I already did hear, very quickly, the overlapping fabric on the, whatever those are called, because they're not suspenders.
The two vertical lines that look like suspenders.
Yeah, anyway. That part, like, I've done that, remove the overlap, and I also already closed the pant leg. But I feel like did we talk about something else?
Do we want to keep the buttons? We don't need them. If you like them, they can stay. If you don't like them, they can go.
I like them.
Okay,
Yeah, the buttons don't bother me because it's just like, oh, it's just a spot of color.
Yeah, I think we talked about understating the makeup, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, we could, like, not do the lipstick, I guess.
I like it. I don't think the design needs it, but I enjoy it there. Plus, there's something fun about putting lipstick on both genders of a Pokemon. Like that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I have nothing against it. I think it looks fine with or without.
Okay.
We talked about the legs.
Julie, I found a cake Digimon.
Oh, what are they called?
Let me see. So this is a direct translation. Shortmon and Weddinmon.
I love you.
That's my husband. He just bought me food.
I was like,
So sorry.
Whose side did that come from?
He's very sweet.
Nah, I can say, yeah, Banana Meteor's husband is great.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
Yeah, Shortmon and Weddinmon. Like, I feel like you'll like the first one, because it's basically just, like, a little, like, dinosaur thing with a cake head. And, like, it's wearing, like, a little, like, vest. And it's really cute.
Sounds adorable.
I will, send them to... I'll, retweet it with, and, like, tag you, I guess, in the thingamajigger.
I guess to take the pants, like, we could take it one step further and, like, round it out, kind of like the sleeves are. And I guess that also is more like the original, because the connection of the legs is also spherical, just not quite as much. But
I'm open to that.
Ghana says yes, please. Okay. We'll see what that looks like.
To answer hi, or HI, so Banana Meteor said, I don't know, do you want to answer it?
Oh, hold on. What was the train of thought when deciding to make it look more human-like? I don't think I really pushed even the general design of Mime to look more human-like. I guess I gave it more human-like clothes. And
The proportions are also more humanoid.
true.
Yeah.
I think I just wanted to push more towards its namesake, both in proportions and clothing, which of course was the mime. And it confused me a little bit with its original design, whether it was clothes or not. I talked about this a little bit earlier. I think it's supposed to be because of the seam that you see on the side there. It's very visible on the bottom left Sugimori art that we have up right now. But it kind of doesn't read as clothes, and I sort of wanted it to make it look more like that, just to be less confusing and a little more hopefully cute.
Yeah. This looks alright to me. I don't know if I necessarily prefer it. The dissected leg look that Gano was complaining about, I don't think it would look that like dissected as much with the colors in place and all that kind of thing. So I guess another possibility would be to just kind of simplify the bow tie a little bit so that it's like just a shape.
If you want to take out the center part and just kind of make it a silhouette, that's okay.
Yeah, something like that.
Hi says that they thought Mr. Mime was a frog. You can tell it's not a frog by the way that it's not one of my favorite Pokemon.
Mr. Mime as a frog. Like, I never would have made that connection, but now that you mention it and I look at it, especially the bottom left Sugimori art, I can totally see it.
I can see it's frog-esque.
Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, Poliwhirl and Poliwrath have that similar glove too. So
Yeah.
like, I see what you're saying. Maybe I should have made it a frog. Oh, hindsight.
Yeah, right. That would have been cool. So,
Mr. Frog.
Matthew, I'd say my favorite D&D, official D&D 5e race is probably the lizard folk. Just because I, as an autistic person, my spectrum traits, I guess you'd call it, involve having very little empathy, and I really like the way the lizard folk sort of don't feel in the same way other races do. And that really speaks to me. That said, my favorite character that I play is a changeling, so... Also, Tabaxi are great, as are Kenku. I just like the monster races the most.
Banana Meteor, would you like to make further changes to your design to turn it into a frog?
No. Maybe I'll come back next week when Mr. Frog makes stream happy.
We'll give it a bigger we'll give it a bigger mouth and then put its tongue sticking out. There you go.
I already did the long tongue Pokemon.
That's
Can't
true.
do it again.
Gano was complaining about the under eye makeup. I guess it looks like the under eye bags, which
I think just because it's sketchy right now, it looks like that.
Yeah.
Once
it's true. Once I
a little bit.
clean it up
Once it's
better.
all colored, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, we've been here for an hour and a half already. I still need to do the reflected and do the female variant as well. So like I don't want to spend too much time just like cleaning up the stuff that we kind of already know what it's supposed to look like.
Do you want to just like toss colors on it and then do the female variant later?
No, I'll do the female. I mean, I actually, yeah, maybe it is better to just put the colors on and then do the female, but it's like I want to have both done today.
Sure.
So
Yeah, sorry to serve up this tough project. Is this the first Pokemon in the new 151 to have a gender variant?
No.
No.
I believe Clefairy does?
Mm-hmm.
Or Clefable,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they had...
which was my design.
Yeah, they had different shaped wings in the back. Bye, Lynn.
Thanks for stopping by, and thanks for the cool sketch.
Yeah, I liked Lynn's Mr. Mimes.
So... Oh, actually... I need to put away all the other Mr. Mimes, but I need to still know what the female is supposed to look like.
So for whoever was talking about changelings, my favorite D&D character I've ever made, his name is Ol. He's named after the shapeshifters from Deltora Quest, speaking of middle grade books. He is a conspiracy theorist, and he lives in the sewers. He's my boy. And my favorite book is, of course, Volo's Guide to Monsters. And, like, changeling would be awesome. Like, not having to wear a binder would be really cool. And also not being called ma'am while wearing a binder would also be very cool.
Being called ma'am while wearing a binder? Oh,
Yeah.
That sounds worse than being called ma'am just in general.
Yeah, it's like, people still call me ma'am, and, like, I can wear a binder and a packer, and it's like, ma'am? And I'm like, what the fuck? And that's why I want to go on T, and I missed my fucking appointment. I slept through it. Yeah, so I gotta call them back. And I'm probably, they're charging me, I think, but I can probably call them back and say, like, yo, I probably don't have the money to pay you, considering next month I'm going down to Florida. So.
Have you considered wearing a Santa beard to work?
I don't think they'd let me. They do have, apparently PetSmart does have little tags that you can put above your name tag that say your pronouns. I'm gonna talk to, the more sympathetic of the two, like, main managers to, like, my gender issues. I'm gonna talk to her and be like, hey, do you think I could get one of these that says they, them?
Yeah, stores are pretty good about that these days.
Indigo's store just implemented a pilot program. I mean, it's national, so it's not just her store, but
yeah.
But other, like, it's not every store that has it nationally. So, and like, it's nice to have it, and Indigo did some pushing to get her store to do it.
Yeah.
But it sucks that it's not everywhere.
Yeah, for real.
April and I have a joke, just everyone in the workforce is non-binary. Like, every time we go to a store, the cashier is non-binary, and we're just like, yes! The gays. We're in good hands.
So many gay people at stores.
But
the manager who's, like, directly above the position I usually work, pet care, is so freaking sweet. Like, she checked me out today when I was getting stuff for I was getting, like, cat litter and rat food. And she checked me out, and she asked, like, oh, do you want an email sheet or a paper receipt? And I'm like, a paper. And then she went in paper receipt, and I'm like, wait, and then she said, well, girl, it's too late. You're getting email. You know, just as you're getting paper, just as like a joking thing. And then she just like stood by the door while the other woman was checking me out because she had swapped out. And she stood by the door and waited for me to leave because she wanted to apologize to me. And I'm like, no, I get that. Like, you were saying it as like a turn of phrase. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
You know. Like, I'm not, like, if she said, boy, you're getting paper receipt, that would have sounded, like, weird. Like, I completely get what she was trying to do, so.
Yeah.
It's sweet that she cared enough, though, to be like, whoops, my bad.
She's, like, the nicest of all the managers, and I really appreciate having her as the pet care manager. She's been great. Like, not to say the other managers aren't nice, but they're, like, more concerned with store performance, whereas she seems more concerned with, like, the well-being of the animals.
And the eyelashes. And that's all, right? The hair slash ears, depending on how you want to think about it.
Yeah,
The
I
bow
think
tie
that's-
slash ascot. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's everything. Infinipede, because you brought up your job, Hi says, rats are so precious. Hi, you missed a fun conversation in here earlier.
Yeah, we were talking about, like, rodent balls. And how, like, well, male rats are more outgoing than female rats, but they got weird big balls.
It's okay. We love them.
Oh, yeah.
You just have unfortunate body parts.
Yeah. Same with Syrian hamsters. Like, dwarf hamsters, you don't like see them on dwarf hamsters. But Syrians, like, I don't know, it's like they can be covered in fur, but their balls are, like, nude. It's like, why? I mean, I understand why from, like, an evolutionary standpoint, but...
I'm gonna make some small adjustments to the hand position on the female, to be able to show more of the eyelash, and also on the bottom to be able to show more of the, like, tip of the ascot.
I idea in general too, so that they're kind of making slightly different poses.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's just like rotation of the arm and stuff.
Yeah, that's
like the
basically
idea
all
that
I'm
they're
going
sort
for.
of- Yeah. Sounds good.
Did we get rid of the makeup, or has that just not been drawn in yet?
Oh,
Lipstick?
I guess
Lipstick,
I guess I
sorry.
took it off at one point and then I just didn't put it back. But I can put it back.
If you please chat, our next design will be a frog with big rat balls.
No.
I'm
I mean,
trying
we
to
could
picture
make a
Jinx.
Pokemon that's. We could make like a Pokemon that's subtly testicles.
I'm
mean,
trying
we
to picture
already
Jinx
have-
as a
we
rat
have
with.
a vulva Pokemon. I'm sorry.
I'll pass on that design. I'll leave that one to you.
I'll do it.
I'm trying to picture
It'll be
Jinx
like-
as a frog with rat balls.
No.
Well, that is our next design.
We have replaced the racial elements on Jinx as a frog with rat balls.
Oh, I've got a lot of stuff to say about like Jinx's original design. That'll be interesting. Don't want to go on for too long though, obviously.
Okay. I think this is everything. Ed, did you have a preference, Banana Meteor, between the rounded legs and the not rounded legs?
Rounded legs. I'm not sure what you mean by that.
Here, I'll do. I'll put one of them back to. The
Oh,
not rounded legs.
the sleeves, the pant sleeves, I guess.
Yeah, the pant legs.
I think
but
they
here,
look
I'll
better
put
rounded
one
like
back
that.
to what it.
No,
to-
I remember. I prefer them this way. If that's cool.
I agree. They look good rounded.
Okay. I put both of them up so now you can actually see it. Rounded.
Rounded.
Rounded it is. Okay, so let's just very quickly throw some colors on. I can just do colors on the one of them. Let's do it on the female. I think I'll just like steal the colors off of your sketch.
Yeah, go for it. They're not copyrighted. That's my favorite thing about doing art. You can just pull up any picture and be like, these colors belong to me now.
I'm gonna copyright these colors. How dare you use the color combination that I came up with? Nobody else has used this particular color combination ever before. It is entirely out of my creativity. It belongs to me.
Copyright me for colors forever. My colors.
Yes.
Ooh, we have people referencing Vanta Black in chat. We're getting into the deep art memes.
Oh, it's not that one's not that deep. Not anymore anyway. I think most people know about it now. Like, they may not know who Anish Kapoor is or what his work is like, but I think most people by now know that Vanta Black is only for the one guy.
Yeah, I never remember the dude's name. I just know the whole thing behind it.
I think I only know his name because I've actually been to an exhibit of his work. It was in high school, I think, and an exhibit of his work was on at one of the main like cultural centers in Rio, and my art class, we went on like essentially a field trip to see the exhibit. Anish Kapoor is, or at least...
That.
Sorry, say that again?
Pretty cool that you got to experience that. It's too bad that guy is a total asshole.
Yeah. He is, or at least he was, a pretty big name in contemporary art, so... nowadays, I don't know if he's still big, but I don't follow it that much, but... I did like his work, just... I stopped liking his work after I found out that he was like, oh, well, Vanta Black is all mine now.
Oh my god, I gotta buy some of that pinkest pink for one of my next Warhammer Army projects, which is turning the Beasts of Chaos into furries at a rave.
Furries at a rave specifically, okay.
Yeah, like there's some models in Age of Sigmar that have gas masks, mostly Skaven models. And I want to take some of those and like take the gas masks off and put them onto the Beasts of Chaos models. I think you can copyright Vanta Black because it's like a scientific thing. And not just specifically a copyright.
Well, it's not really copyrighted, it is patented, but the problem isn't the color, it's the pigment, right? And so the manufacturers of the pigment won't sell it to anyone besides Anish Kapoor. Which is why you have Black 3.0, which is a competitor, essentially, that will sell to anyone.
Except Anish Kapoor.
Except Anish Kapoor, yes.
Same with Pinkest Pink. You're not supposed to sell it to Anish Kapoor. Anything that group makes, essentially, you have to sign an agreement not to sell it to Anish Kapoor.
Yeah.
They also do, I think they're the ones who do like that really mirrory chrome paint, which is something I'd also love to play with on minis.
I hope to one day have like a really good idea of something to do with Black 3.0. Because it's just so trippy to look at. Like I haven't seen it in person, but I've seen videos of it, and yeah,
Yeah,
it's
like,
just
I'm
awesome.
trying to think of like armies that would have a really cool effect on. So that and like that chrome mirror paint. I don't know. I'll figure it out someday. I'll look at what armies I want to build and.
I think it would honestly work well for Pokemon figures, because Pokemon have such strong silhouettes that it would make it really interesting.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
I mean, I guess I could 3D print a new 151 Gengar, and then paint it with Black 3.0. I mean, I can't 3D print it. I don't have a 3D printer, but I could get it 3D printed.
I have a resin 3D printer. Do you have like a 3D model of it?
No. I'd
Okay.
have to do that first.
If you get one, send it over. And I will happily 3D print you one and send it to you.
Cool. Maybe I will do that.
Yeah, I've started actually making a, I had this, like, playmat of, like, this playmat you're supposed to be able to just, like, draw on. And I've started doing, like, some new 151 Pokemon on it. Like, I did all the starters.
Oh, cool.
And then I'm gonna do maybe, like, the ones that I designed or some of my favorites. I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do with it.
Yeah.
But that's, like, a new 151 project. What do you mean by doing it wrong? Trying to figure out like how exactly that works. Oh, needs extra prep, spray, brush, or roll.
Well, as long as in the end I have a figurine that is totally black except for like the glowing red extremities. That sounds good. So because picking colors off of another drawing is not perfect, I think the skin is probably too dark.
I'm okay with it, honestly, especially if you're adding highlights to that. I was just about to say that, like, I loved the colors you picked, but you picked my colors, so it's kind of like just me being like, good job, me.
Yeah.
A little more pink and a little less like lavender, but that's just my personal opinion. Like, if you and Julie both like it, go with it. That's cool.
Yeah, no, because you were describing it as bubblegum pink, and that doesn't look bubblegum pink to me.
It's pretty close. I think it's looking a little darker just because of the colors around it, but it could skew a little warmer, and I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, I think a little warmer and a little bit more saturated, more like that. Did you want to see what it looks like with black instead of the navy blue black and or white skin?
I'm open to it. I don't expect to like it, but there's no harm in looking.
All right. Like, honestly, I have a feeling I will like it better, but I like high contrast things, so.
Come up with the world's shiniest, blackest paint.
I actually do really like it, and it makes me think of Team Yell colors. I don't think that's necessarily appropriate, but they are colors that I like as a combination.
I like that. I actually really like that.
And Gano is suggesting making the arms and the legs be black and white striped. I think with the original like skin color, but
I don't dislike it. It feels more like classic cartoon, like rubber hose style cartoons.
sure.
But I do think my colors just kind of illustrate the types a little better.
What about just one or the other? Oops. I like it with the white skin. It makes me think more of Mimes.
Yeah.
Oh, whoops. I put the white skin. I basically replaced the pink skin instead of doing it on a new layer like I meant to.
How dare you?
Yeah.
The,
Oh, there
I
you
like
go.
the white skin with the blue, actually.
Yeah, the white skin with the blue works for me.
I could do that. Could we make the white a very subtle pink? Just to kind of differentiate from the gloves.
Oh, I see. And keep the gloves. Okay.
Yeah, keep the gloves, the white. I'm sorry that I'm difficult to get to budge on this one.
You're so hard to work with. Unbelievable.
I will not compromise my artistic vision. Yeah, that totally works for me. I think I like that more than the really saturated pink.
All right.
Is that a doable compromise?
You like what it is right now, right? It's a very pale pink.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. I think I like that better than the very bright pink as well.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
And are you okay with the navy over the black? I feel like it just makes it more colorful, and I like
I
that.
know, I like it. Yeah, it works. What did you think of Gano's idea of making the arms and the legs both striped, and they can be black and, well, not black and white, but navy and white?
I felt like that might be a little much pattern-wise.
I agree.
Okay.
I did have the shoes
Oh yeah.
pink on my design. Though I suppose it's not deeply important, but I think that was just my idea to skew it more towards a psychic.
That was
Aesthetic.
just me defaulting to dark shoes because that's what it is on the original, and not noticing that I was doing it wrong.
No, you're fine.
Matt, sorry, go ahead.
I almost made them the navy color, and then I decided against it. But it's not super different either way.
What if they have different colored shoes? And with the male having pink.
Ooh, I'm open to it. I also like how you immediately make the boy pink. Like, yes, thank you.
You know what?
Well, if it's gonna be pink on one, if it's gonna be pink on one but not the other, then I'm not gonna go with the Wobbuffet route and be like, make the girl extra girly.
Oh, I did want to touch base on that because someone in chat, I forget who it was, I'm so sorry, asked earlier why you didn't like the lipstick on female Wobbuffet, and I would love to hear you talk about that.
Oh, me?
Yes, you.
No, I thought you were going to talk about something. You wanted to ask me. Well, for one, it just looks completely out of place. Like, I don't know why Wobbuffet would have lipstick at all. I think there was, like in the beta Gen 4 that came out a while ago, I think there was a female Wobbuffet that had like long hair, essentially, like the little fold at the top was longer. And that was better than the lipstick, because it's just like a variation on something that's already there. But then the other thing is just like the way to make Wobbuffet female is give it makeup. It's just so like obvious. It's just like, how do you turn this into a girl? Oh, you put makeup on it. Not creative at all. And like the long hair, like it wouldn't be creative either, but at least it would just be like, it's something that the Wobbuffet already has. Like it was already part of the design and you just kind of modified it to make the feminine version of it. But
it would make sense if Wobbuffet was trying to create a humanoid punching bag, or like copy humans in some way.
Yeah,
but it
which
doesn't
it is.
make
It's
sense
just,
as is.
it's just completely nonsensical.
I mean, I find it funny, but that's about it, you know?
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat as Infinipede. I think I like it a little more than both you, just because I think Wobbuffet is a very comical, kind of like a joke Pokemon.
Yeah.
So the lipstick doesn't bother me. But I would be like furious if like female Charizard had lipstick.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, like if it was any Pokemon that wasn't like either a funny Pokemon or like trying to copy a human in a way, it would piss me off a lot. Like right now, it's just like, haha, that's kind of funny. Like that's my opinion on it, and that's about it. You know, I don't think it's particularly good. I just think it's like a little comical.
Yeah, it's just very. For me, it's the combination of those two things, right? If it was like an obvious feminine trait, just by itself, but it felt more integrated with the design as a whole, that would probably be okay. Or if it was, I don't know what the other way to do it would be. Like it's out of place, but not especially feminine, I guess. Like if it was, I don't know, even if it was makeup, but it's just like it has black lipstick, it probably would stand out less as well.
Yeah. Like, April has a good point, but it's also like there's sort of a dichotomy there where it's like, yeah, this could potentially be like an offensive thing, but also like people are like, oh, I don't hit girls. But it's also just a Pokemon.
Yeah. And also, as Charon says, why does the punching bag monster even need a gender difference?
Yeah, it's not trying to copy or imitate humans in any way. It's not a humanoid Pokemon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's just silly. It's silly in a way that's like, haha. That's about it. In my opinion.
it's, for me, it's like it's silly in a way that it doesn't need to be, and it's just like it's out of place. So, but
it wouldn't make me like Wobbuffet more or less if it was removed. My opinion on Wobbuffet is sort of just like a shrug. So.
Yeah, like I liked Wobbuffet in Generation 2. it was. I had nothing against it.
Yeah,
But
it's
now
a
I have
cool
something
concept.
against it. At least I have something against the design of the female. But
It's got a good concept, but I don't like it or love it, so it's whatever.
yeah. All right. Are we satisfied with the Mr. Mime design? We can move on to Jinx.
Can I use the
Yeah.
bathroom before we do?
Yes.
Yeah.
You can show Jinx, and I can explain it when I get back.
I think we did mention that we wanted to put the shoes on the male as pink.
Oh yeah.
And
I just stopped halfway through making the shoes a separate layer.
That's fine. So since we talked about gender differences that you don't like in Pokemon, what is a Pokemon with a gender difference that you do like?
Well, to be honest, I generally don't like most of them because it's always like, or almost all of them, are just like it. Like the female is just like it's the same but longer hair.
Yeah,
Like,
you're not wrong.
The elements that they choose to change and the ways that they choose to change them for the female, it's very just like the traits that we associate with female humans.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, I did kind of do that too on Mr. Mime, where I used the makeup on the girl to be longer eyelashes, but I tried not to go like too into that.
But no, I think like people are mentioning Unpheasant. That's definitely a good one. Or like Venusaur or Vileplume, where it's just like the spots are different.
Venusaur's a little too subtle for me. I'm more okay with it on Vileplume, I think, because just more of it is the flower.
Right.
Pyroar's great. Someone mentioned Pyroar.
Yeah, but so yeah, the ones that are like they are conceptualized to have that sexual dimorphism from the beginning, they are all already better.
Yeah, I feel that.
Because it's
I was
not like,
thinking-
how do we take this Alakazam and make it a female Alakazam?
Yeah.
Let's trim its mustache because it's female and it shouldn't have facial hair, and so it has a shorter mustache.
Yeah, Charon mentioned Meowstic. Meowstic is great.
Yeah, and those are like all of the ones that are being brought up as good ones. They are all Gen 5 or later,
Yeah.
when sexual dimorphism was already a thing, right?
Right. I mean, I do like Nidoking and Nidoqueen, but they're not really the same Pokemon, which is a bummer, but I think that one is good.
Yeah, that one works
like,
okay. I mean,
one's-
I don't think Nidoqueen needs to have breasts, but other than that,
Big lizard milkers? Yeah, probably not. But,
Yeah, but like otherwise, it's like a fine version of like typical mammal sexual dimorphism on a Pokemon.
yeah.
yeah. But yeah, like all of the good ones that are being brought up are Generation 5 or later.
Yeah.
I think that's because in Gen 4 they had only just done dimorphism,
Yeah.
so they didn't want to make these like large changes.
Oh, and Dee Dee is also great. Yeah,
Yeah.
good point there. Good one.
I
I guess in defense of me putting eyelashes on the girl for this one, I will say that I probably defaulted to that because I picked such a humanoid Pokemon, and that would also drive me insane if it was on, like, something much more animal-like.
Right. It actually doesn't bother me too much because you have the same element on the male. It's just positioned differently. It's the same, or I think the Indeedee has a similar thing with the eyes, where the male has the like two little blue triangles that are positioned as like glasses. They're like in the middle, I think is what it is. and then the female one has them on the outside as eyelashes. But it's just like they both have a marking, it's just positioned differently.
Yeah, it's not about like adding a feature that the other one just doesn't have.
Yeah. So, shall we move on to Jinx?
Sure.
Infinipede, tell us about it.
Okay. So, Jinx is a Pokemon with a complicated history and some complicated discourse around it. I am firmly in the camp that Jinx is meant to represent the fashion trends of Garu or Gal and Gangudo, as well as Manba fashion, which all use like heavy tanning along with light makeup. This, depending on who you ask, this is either a reference to black folks or a sort of unintentional blackface by Japanese people. Which I wanted to kind of stay away from that for obvious reasons, as well as bringing Jinx's ice type to the forefront without going too far away from its original design. So, I decided to go with the concept of a Yamauba, which is a sort of yokai that's like a mountain crone, like a witch who lives way up high in the snowy mountains. And so Jinx is wearing a furred coat, like feather dress sort of thing. She's got, but it's also just part of her whole design, like it is with the original Jinx. To keep the whole opera singer look that she has going on with her like weird breastplate, she does have like a chest plate thing, but it's not like so breast-like as the original Jinx. Mm-hmm. She's got like little spirals on it, like the whole stereotypical opera singer look. There are swirls. I use those to tie into our other heavily yokai-inspired new 151 Pokemon, like Growlithe and Hypno. And I went with purple for the skin tone to avoid the blackface thing. I covered her eyes because I thought that would be an interesting look, as well as sort of giving you the hairy appearance that the Yamauba typically has. I changed the dress and the lips to blue, again, to sort of tie more into the ice type. And I decided to go with a less, like, creepy look for the lips. I was inspired by Amethyst from Steven Universe, as well as sort of just like the little three face, you know, the cute little kitty face.
Yeah.
And yeah, I also went with sort of the black under the dress, as well as between the chest piece and the dress, and underneath the hands in her coat, to be sort of like a old Gardevoir. You know how with old Gardevoir you couldn't see her body?
Mm-hmm.
And so people would wonder, like, what's under the dress? You know, it was kind of like a spooky psychic type.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, yeah, so I was gonna ask about that, if, like, the black that you see at the bottom between the, like, slits of the dress, like, is that supposed to be, like, a solid black, or is it just the back of the dress?
Interpret it how you will. I will leave that to you.
Okay.
I just want to say that I love this design. I feel like every change you made was for the better. I love the blues in it. For the ice type, I like how you've got the fur trim, which is something that it would wear in a cold climate. I love the blue lipstick, because that takes it away from that stereotypical blackface, and it's just really cute. It's great. You killed this one.
Yeah.
Love
Thank
it.
you.
No,
this
I love it
I've
as
had
well.
in my head forever, and I'm happy to finally bring it to life here. So.
Yeah. There's no such thing as solid black in Pokemon. I don't mean like solid black as in the color. I meant like, is that thing that we're seeing, like, is it a solid, or is it just the back of the dress? Like, personally, I prefer it as just the back of the dress for the same, like, old Gardevoir kind of thing. I still like Gardevoir, but I liked it more when it was just, like, floating dress.
Yeah, I think I like the concept where it's the back of the dress, so it's like, ooh, you know, does she have a body, you know, or is she the dress with like a head, you know?
Yeah.
Kind of like that spooky psychic type feeling.
Yeah, and I like, aside from that, and I guess changing the black at the bottom to like be spiky or jagged to make it more obvious that it's the back of the dress. Like, aside from that, I have no changes to make to it or to suggest to it. It looks great. Do you have a preferred pose from the 3 Jinx poses, or should we just stick with the one that you have?
I like the newer one, the one on top. I feel like that would show off, like, you wouldn't have the dress, like, the floofy fur dress arms covering up anything.
Yeah. It's probably a little bit... Like, because I kind of like the bottom one where it has its arms up and it looks like it's scared of a little mouse or something.
Like that, yeah.
Yeah.
I just worry about the dress arms covering up the face.
I mean, it wouldn't cover up the important part of the face, which is the lips and the skin color.
You can cover that one if you want. I feel like the top one would work best, but it's up to you.
No, I'll go with that because I do think it would be more difficult to make the hairstyle that you have work with the pose with where the arms are up.
Yeah.
So we'll go with the top one. And someone was asking if we can get the discussion of gender differences as its own clip. You can clip the stream, or at least I think you can. I know you. I'm pretty sure you can clip my videos, but you should be able to clip the stream as well. Just like in on Twitch, you can do clips. Well, now you can do that on YouTube as well, and I enabled it for my channel a few weeks ago. So
Nice.
I've never done it, so I don't know exactly how it works, but it should be doable. Let's lock Mr. Mime so I don't accidentally, like, move a bunch of layers around.
That would be bad.
Without seeing it. It actually bothers me that Photoshop lets you do that. That, like, you can select and essentially edit layers that are not visible. Like, I can't think of a situation where moving an invisible layer would be appropriate.
I'll try to think of one.
The fact that not only Gothitelle has legs, but also they're so low on their bodies is cursed. Yeah, Gothitelle has like little nubs for legs, but they're at the very bottom. But I think that's actually less cursed than Jinx having actual feet. Like humanoid feet. Which was depicted in the anime.
Get that out of my face! That's cursed.
Wait, Jinx had feet?
Yep.
Can we throw that up on the screen?
Yeah, probably. But yeah, it was. There's a one episode where Jinx is depicted essentially doing the can with a bunch of other Pokemon, and so you can see the soles of its feet.
Gross.
Oh, don't forget to edit the concept.
Oh yeah, I was like halfway through that.
A lot of people are saying they don't want to see Jinx's feet.
Okay,
Where's
how
your-
about this? I will
Just
put. There's actually. It is depicted. Oh wait, this is not where I thought it was gonna take me. Okay, it does show up in the Bulbapedia article for Jinx. It is like it's the first screenshot of the anime that's on Bulbapedia.
Going. Where's your sense of adventure, chat? Don't you want to see something that makes you feel just a deep, visceral disgust?
I will. How about this? I will put a link to it in the chat, and then whoever wants to see it can click the link. And if you don't want to see it, you don't click the link. I've never been happier that I can't go on Bulbapedia. Gunnar has been having access problems with Bulbapedia for some reason.
I like how they don't even really show the dress lifting up. It's just kind of a foot in Jinx's hair. It
Yep.
is inexplicably weird. Bizarre.
Wow. I like how Starry is doing the can-can.
Yeah.
It's just flipping up its, like, lower right leg.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
That was
Yeah,
delightful. Thank you for sharing that. Weird.
I definitely see the Valkyrie, comparison, and I'm down with that. I'm down with, like, like, the little Valkyrie reference on the Jinx. Especially because they're also associated with, like, ice and cold.
I'm like, where do the arms connect to?
I assume they would go sort of, they'd kind of disappear into the hair, like
Yeah.
Jinx's arms.
Yeah, but I think they connect like next to the breasts essentially.
Yeah, they would connect probably more towards the shoulders than that, but...
Yeah.
So kind of under the fur ruff.
Oh, and here we go with hands again. Jeez.
Sorry.
Back at it again.
Yeah, we got like 2 humanoid Pokemon today. So.
Are there any other humanoid Pokemon coming up? Like Mewtwo-ish, but
Mewtwo's-ish, like... I mean, Electabuzz has hands.
yeah, I guess it does have humanish hands. Maybe I'll design those out. Okay, yeah, let me put the concept in. What do you want me to say?
Yama-Uba. Which is hyphenated for the...
Yep. Yes, I'm familiar with Yama-Uba.
Nice. Just making sure. Adding in more ice-type elements. And that sounds good to me. If there's anything else you want to add, go for it.
Floating dress?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. And... yeah, I think I will include the Ganguro fashion.
Yeah.
Because that is part of the original Jinx, and it's also part of this Jinx.
Yeah.
That's not something we want to edit out.
I would say Mamba fashion more so, because Manba is a more colorful variant of Ganguro.
Sure.
MANBA, yeah. So I think the blue lipstick makes more sense with Manba fashion, as does the like brighter hair. But you can use whatever hair color you want at this point, honestly. I'm just happy with how it came out.
Yeah, I mean, I think anything between the, like, middle Jinx and what you did, I think any color between in that spectrum is gonna work.
Yeah. Like, I wanted to go with, like, sort of a slightly darker black than official Jinx, like nowadays official Jinx. Just to kind of meld the two together, but, like, not so black that it looks blackface.
Yeah. I was gonna ask, like, do the proportions look right for what I have, but it's just like it's so vague.
Yeah.
Like I need to put the hair on top for us to be able to tell.
Yeah, maybe like a little slightly longer torso, but looks good to me otherwise.
A longer torso, so I'll just move the bottom of the dress down a little bit.
Exactly, yeah.
Ideally without also moving the arm, but apparently I drew those on the same layer. Yep. Apparently we don't like squat Pokemon. Make them taller. Why won't you move? There you go.
No short people allowed.
Short people got no reason to live.
I don't remember how tall you two are. Like, I think we're all more or less the same height. You might be a little bit taller than me.
Yeah, when we were kids, people always thought Infinipede and I were related because we were just a similar age and both tall. So people would be like, "Oh, are you twins?" And we'd be like, "No."
I'm like 5 inches shorter than you, though.
I know, it's weird, right?
I mean, we also both wore glasses, so...
Clearly a hereditary trait.
I mean, technically, yes.
Yeah, well, bad eyesight is, yeah.
But it's funny.
Yeah. It is kind of silly that people thought we were related, because we don't really look that alike.
It was very common for people to be like, you guys are related. We'd be like,
yeah,
no.
that was weird.
I know it's just the sketch right now, but currently, Libris, your Jinx sketch looks like it has large, puffy nipples.
Maybe it does.
Design pivot.
Oh no!
You thought Gardevoir was sexy, just you wait, kid.
Look, I think my Jinx is kind of cute. I'll say that.
Oh, I thought there was a butt coming. I think my Jinx is kind of cute, but it isn't supposed to have nipples.
No stipulations.
Okay.
Big nipples required.
No, it's not supposed to have nipples.
Don't worry, I didn't think it was supposed to have nipples.
I figured you, yeah.
I feel like we've talked about this before, which is terrible before what I'm about to say, but what Pokemon canonically have nipples? Miltank is one, of course. Are there more?
I think Tyrogue has little dots.
I think Nuzleaf does too.
Yes!
Nuzleaf might be the one I was thinking of, yeah.
Does it lose its nipples when it evolves? Because that's really funny.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will say, one of the first things I met Libris IRL once, and he's pretty short.
I'm not short. I'm average. Like I'm actually pretty much exactly average.
Yeah, you probably are. I'm like a little above average for like the world height of like AFAB people. So.
Yeah, I'm like maybe a centimeter or two below the world average for males.
I like trans girlfriend once say like, "You're not tall," and I'm like, "Yeah, it's because you're really tall."
Why do people claim Miltank has nipples but not real-life cows? Real-life cows do not stand upright and show me their udders.
Yeah, no, I am 170, and I think the world average is like 171 centimeters.
Alright, use real measurements in Canada. I hate our measuring system in America. It is a nightmare.
Look, like Fahrenheit, I will never give up Fahrenheit for a good 0 to 100 measure of how heat affects people. Celsius is great for cooking. Celsius is great for water. Celsius is great for science. Not for people.
Yeah, Fahrenheit bothers me less, but our measuring system, like metric, is just so much better.
Metric's a lot easier for like liquids and distances, for sure.
Yeah.
Do you like the splayed out fingers of top left Jinx?
I do. I do like that. Oh, Matthew, I don't mean to rag on Miltank. I genuinely really like Miltank. I think it's cute. Cows are one of my favorite animals in real life. Like, it's very pleasant and nice, but it does have very prominent nipples.
Yeah.
Yeah, Miltank's a fun Pokemon. I don't dislike it.
Yeah.
I do have a shiny Miltank named Nipnop. That I have occasionally used in, like, Battle Tower type stuff, so...
I don't think Miltank breaks into my top 10, but it's probably in, like, my top 50. Like, Miltank is cute.
I think I like Miltank in the way that I just like all Johto Pokemon. Like, I just like it. I have nothing against it.
Yeah, it's a very non-offensive, cute design.
Yeah. Unless you hate udders.
There's a little too much jiggle physics going on with its idle animation. Someone got very into animating that, but other than that,
someone had
I think
fun.
I think it's fine.
But yeah, I don't know. Like, it's nothing special to me. Like, obviously I have memories of like fighting Whitney with Miltank, but
I think a lot of normal types just kind of blend into the pile because they don't really stick out competitively a lot of the times. But like, it's still cute. It's a sweet design.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like a lot of those, like, blendy in normal types. Like, a lot of them would be in my top 100, you know? Like, I love Bibarel. I like Delcatty. I like Persian and Meowth. You know, stuff like that. They're fun.
Yeah.
Kecleon. Kecleon's a fun Pokemon. You know, stuff like that.
Not every Pokemon needs to be a scary dragon.
Exactly.
They don't need to all be cool.
No,
Like,
and,
not every
and certainly
animal
not all
needs to
dragons
be-
need to be scary dragons.
I agree with that, and I think we should have less scary I think we need more Dredigons and Drampas.
More Appletons, more Goomies. I'm there with you.
Yes,
Yeah.
well, what... I guess the Applin family gets closer to that, but what I really want is like the Dunsparce of dragons.
Yes! Please. I
agree.
mean, Dredigon's the closest we get.
It still looks like a, like a big scary dragon. Like I want a dragon that is kind of boring because it doesn't evolve, and Dredigon has that, but
Yeah.
that is
Dredigon just looks dumb, though.
yeah.
It does.
I like it because it's a gargoyle, and gargoyles are cool as shit.
Yeah.
But like, it looks silly, and in the anime it sounds silly. It's just, it's so good.
Yeah, and then one that and then has like bad stats, and that just like looks weird.
I definitely agree. We need more silly dragons.
Yeah.
I want like the Magikarp of dragons. Like, it can evolve into a decent dragon, but it needs to be like complete shit. And it needs to not evolve into something great. It just needs to be like something good. Like, this is okay in Yu-Yu. You know, this works in Yu-Yu.
Yeah.
Or this works in RU. You know, whatever. It just, Tornado. Yeah, Tornado's another like, hey, it exists. It's a dragon.
Yeah, that's a good one. I also love Flapple. I know Flapple gets a little overshadowed just because Appleton is dumb cute, but like Flapple
Flapple
is
is-
also neat.
I like Flapple. I like that it's just like, it's doing its best to fly. It tries really hard.
Flapple is, and I know I'm going to offend some people here. I like Appleton, but Flapple is infinitely better.
We had this discussion before.
I think we have,
know.
yeah.
I can't be too mad because I really love both, but I totally understand why people are more charmed by Appleton than Flapple.
Appleton is definitely traditionally cuter.
Yeah.
So hey, I put my name down for Lapras, and right now the only Pokemon we don't have designers or co-designers for are Magikarp and Gyarados.
Well, I should probably go on to those because I don't
Otherwise,
think-
you will not have any.
Otherwise,
Pokemon.
I'm done with the new 151.
Yeah. Well, hey, you can put yourself down for co-designers for stuff. I wouldn't mind like your help on some of these.
Okay.
Yeah, the way, at least like lately we haven't done this as much, but when we started, the way we were doing the co-designer, it was more like if only one of us is like the lead designer, then we come up with the concept like entirely on our own, and obviously we'll show them and then and talk about it and share and all that kind of stuff afterwards. But when we had a co-designer, it was like whoever's the lead designer will come up with the concept, and then we'll do a lot more back and forth, and it's more like we will work on this together, except whoever's the lead designer just gets final say on anything that's contentious.
It's a lot like what we do in the stream, really, where we all kind of co-design them when we do this. So
Yeah, so it's more about like the starting point of the design of who gets to come up with it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I will jump on for Magikarp and Gyarados. I would love to do like one more later if anyone wants to budge on anything that's there. I don't really care what it is, but it would just be nice to still be involved for a while.
Yeah,
So,
well,
let me know.
like, do you have access to the sheet?
I think I do. I just haven't been into it.
Okay, well, you should go and have a look and put yourself down as a co-designer on any that you want to work on, and like, I've probably put myself as designer for ones that like I want to have an idea for it, but I don't necessarily have an idea for it. In which case we could flip,
Okay.
and you could do the lead design, and I can just be the supporting designer.
Yeah, sure. Sure, I'm totally fine with that. I don't want to like edge in on any that you guys really want to design, but like it would be a bummer to not be involved for like the last 20.
Well, you can still be on stream.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Say, that I would love your help with Kabuto and Kabutops.
Okay.
Especially Kabutops. Cause it's a little less Trilobite-esque than Kabuto.
Okay.
And I would love, I'd love if we could maybe break up the chunk of Libris that's listed from like 143 to 151.
Okay.
Like, I don't know if you want to give any of those up, Libris, but
I'd have to remember who those numbers are. Like, obviously the
Snorlax, the legendary birds, Dratini's line, Mewtwo, and Mew.
Yeah. I think at some point I probably had a stronger idea of what I wanted to do with the Dratini line. I'm happy to give that one up.
I can do that.
Okay. What
and-
if we... So,
Oh, sorry,
I
go
don't know
ahead.
how good this idea would work. But what if we each, like, what if we all worked together on the legendary birds, but we each took lead on a different one?
That would be cool. I would like that.
Yeah, I'm down.
That would be pretty cool. Like, we tried to, like, unite them as much as possible, but because they all look very different, aside from, like, their general body shape, like, I think it would be really neat if we each did one.
Yeah, that would be a cool stream too, where we go through all three and we all kind of like headed one of them. I would like that.
Yeah. Well, I would love Articuno. I could take any of them.
I would have strongest preference for Moltres
Take
unless Libris really hates Zapdos.
No, I love Zapdos. Like, Zapdos and Articuno can really, like, fight for the top spot between those two. Moltres is, like, number 5.
I really like it because it's a weird rubber chicken, so I might go into that a little bit while keeping it regal. We'll see. We'll see.
I love me some Articuno. I once beat I beat Banana Meteor's brother with my Articuno because Blizzard was OP in Gen 1 and he got so butthurt.
The freeze status in Gen 1 is insanely broken.
It is. I completely recognize that now, but it was still really funny to see him get the bad butthurt.
It was funny.
Especially because he was always mad at me. He's like, "Oh, you can't go in my room if you're gonna cry."
You were like, great. Thanks, Lucas.
Do the proportions look good to you? Proportions, pose in general? Like, I think the arms probably need to be thicker than that, but I didn't actually draw the arms. I just have the, like, skeleton there.
The breastplate looks a little saggy to me, but obviously, Infinipede can have the final say.
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna, like, just trace over
I'm just changing the list.
Okay. Yeah, no, this is still very rough. I'm not gonna just, like, trace over this, but
yeah, the breastplate looks a little saggy, definitely. But I would just kind of even them out a bit, make them look more rounded. Mine are just kind of saggy because I wanted to make the belt area look sort of like more like a belt-y thing, but I'm sure you can do better.
Yeah, but I mean more like the pose and the general proportions.
Oh yeah, the pose and proportions look good.
Okay.
I would make the arms wider because they're supposed to look like coat-like sleeves.
Yes, like thicker arms, right?
Yeah, they're supposed to look like sleeves. Yeah.
Not to worry. That was the plan. I kept the lips closed like you did. Should I open the mouth at all? Like it's singing or something?
Closed. That's just my preference, though.
Okay. No sex doll face?
No sex doll face, yeah.
Okay.
Yo, Libris, because you're on the new 151 artist sheet anyway, can you reference the actual mollusks that Omastar is based on? Because I don't know offhand what they are.
I don't know what they
Okay,
are.
that must have been Sterling who added that.
Might have been, yeah.
Yeah, because I have no idea what mollusks they're based on.
Like,
Because I
just from the name, I would assume they are ammonites, but I don't really know what the ammonite looked like off the top of my head.
I will do a bit of. It's basically just a fucking nautilus.
Well, there you go.
I already said I wanted to base it on a nautilus. It's a nautilus crossed with a squid.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I mean, I'll chuck some squid bits on it, but I think my general idea for it seems to be pretty on point.
Cool.
We have not fossils yet. I am doing all of the fossils apparently, but I'm actually getting help from my friend Patrick, who is an actual paleo artist. So that's gonna be fun.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah.
Oh, whoops. The hair and lips on separate layers, please, me.
Yeah, I'm particularly getting his help on the Aerodactyl design. For like Omastar and Kabutops, I will probably do more of my own work, but I will certainly get your help for Kabutops and Banana Meteor.
Okay.
Because that's one where I'm very much like, I don't know.
Sure, I can come up with something. I will sign on for Magikarp, Gyarados,
I'll stick your
Moltres,
names in there.
and Dratini. That's okay if I'm allowed to do that. That's interesting to kind of do the Dratini and Magikarp lines because both of those are not very cohesive as is. So I'll probably work on that.
I find Magikarp and Gyarados plenty cohesive, but
I became more okay with it with the Mega Evolution. I feel like that tied them more together. But as is, I wish they were a little more related.
but like they
Bruce, do you
have
wanna
all of the
be-
design elements that tie them together. Like it's more in the details and not obviously in the body shape, but like they have the same mouth, the same whiskers, the same crown-shaped crest.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
I guess it's the colors and the body shape that really throw me off.
Yeah. If, like, for example, if I were to do a carp that turned into a dragon, I would definitely do it differently, but that's just me.
Sure. Yeah.
Libris, are you okay if, like, I'm swap you for Banana Meteor on the Dratini line, but I add you to the co-design?
Yep. That's fine.
Okay.
Okay.
And I changed out Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres. I'm doing Articuno, Libris is doing Zapdos, Banana Meteor is doing Moltres, and I just put everyone on co-design, because that's
Okay.
one I think we'll want to just generally talk about together.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, we'll have to come up with a cohesive concept for all of them, and then we can each do our own.
I'm
Take on
very
them.
excited.
I'm surprised I was the only one who had any interest in redesigning the Eevee family.
I felt that
Neither
would
of
be
us are-
contentious.
Neither of us are huge on it.
Yeah, you seem like a way bigger Eevee fan than me, so I definitely didn't want to step on the toes there.
I don't even think of myself as a big Eevee fan. Like, I
Okay,
think
Umbreon Libris.
well, yeah, I'm an Umbreon fan, not an Eevee fan.
They're all the same.
They're
They're
all-
the same Pokemon.
That's the problem.
Yeah, and so Infinipede, I know you have that strong feeling about that, and like I'm going along with something that I think we talked about probably early on at this.
And I'm
at this point.
excited. I'm excited to see it.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah, I
excited
do
to
want to
see it.
vary their like body types and stuff a little bit more, while still trying to keep them fairly related.
I'm kind of cynical about Eevee in the same way that Infinipede is cynical about Critical Role, where I'm just like so tired with the saturation of Eevee that I'm like, yeah, okay, it's Eevee, I get it, but like I know that it's cute.
Do you have
I
the same problem with
understand.
Pikachu?
Weirdly, I don't. I think because I'm more into rodents, and Pikachu's always just kind of been the mascot character. It didn't
It's-
kind of like rise to popularity later.
It's also popular for a lot of Pokemon fans to be like, oh, I don't like Pikachu.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, if you don't like Eevee, people are like, what? You don't like Eevee?
Yeah, someone might come to my house and say mean things to me now that I've said that publicly. I'm not a big fan of Eevee.
Well, we've talked about Eevee before on our stream. I think we each have, like, we have, like, a breadth of opinions about Eevee here. Like, Libris likes it, okay. You're like, I'm tired of it. And I'm just like, I just don't like it. Like,
Yeah.
I like the Gen 4 evolutions for Eevee, and then that's about it. I have, like, a special distaste for Sylveon, just because I don't like that it's become, like, this is the trans icon, and I'm like, this is too feminine for me as a trans mask person. Can we have, like, can we have a second trans icon Pokemon?
And April's gonna come after you. That's one of her favorites. But again, she's trans femme, so like
Yeah,
maybe
like,
that's the
I
reason.
completely understand why a lot of trans femme people really love Sylveon, and, like, go for it. Like,
Yeah.
even as a more feminine trans mask person, like, I very much identify as, like, a femboy. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just not big into Sylveon as, like, our, like, icon.
I can see where that would be frustrating as a trans person, so that makes sense.
My girlfriend has said to me at one point when I mentioned that, like, yeah, trans women are, like, very into coming up with trans icons. Whereas trans men aren't so much. So there ends up being, like, a large amount of, like, trans women-led trans icons, and not as many trans masc-like trans icons.
I'm sad that the bisexual community hasn't embraced Shiny Toucanon as the all-powerful bisexual flag icon, because it's like
Down with it!
it's 100% the flag.
It is! And, like, I don't think I've thought about it before, but, like, I'm down with that. Like, fucking beak beam me.
Yeah.
Beak Blast?
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, okay.
It's a beam. It's a beam.
Okay, no, but I was just like, are you actually thinking of the move, or is this something else?
Yeah, I'm thinking of the move.
Okay.
Yo, someone needs a pride flag team.
Yeah, so you do
Can we
Shiny
just make a pride
Toucanon,
flag team?
you do Sylveon.
Sylveon, Toucanon, It doesn't have to be in, like, stripes. It can just be, like, the colors.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
I'm gonna look at stuff now.
We have to do research. I mean, like, Ho-Oh is the rainbow Pokemon, but it doesn't really look that rainbow to look at.
No. It shines with all 7 colors of the rainbow. It has 4 colors.
They were like, we have a concept, but we refuse to bring the design up there to it.
Yeah. if you wanted the belt to look more like a belt, would it make sense to just like make a black belt in the middle, but then put the blue part of the dress above that as well?
Need it to be a look more like a belt. It can look like whatever, honestly.
Okay.
Oh, the Sunset Alcremie is 100% the pansexual flag, so that's nice.
That's cool. That's cool. That could be one, yeah.
Like a lot of folks are using Noibat or Mewtwo to represent Ace.
I mean, I think, one second, let me check. Mewtwo. Oh, I'm looking at what's available for, current gen. Never mind. I could see that, though, yeah.
Yeah, it's so frustrating to make theme teams in Sword and Shield, because you're like, I'll use this! Oh wait, no I won't.
Yeah.
I feel like we need to scoot the, head over to the left a bit, so the center of the head. Oh, but I know you. Well, you're trying to go off the pose in the top left
Yeah,
corner.
it does kind of lean back a little.
Leaning a bit in a way that doesn't look quite as...
But yeah, I can adjust everything, or most of everything. It should be on its own layer, so...
I will say this, your hands look excellent. You did a great job.
Oh yeah, they look great. Calyrex on Spectrier could be Aero and Ace in Pokemon. It's got a green, white, black, and purple, white, black.
Sharon, I have a lot to explore in Pokemon Snap. I need to go back and do like a million things still. But I do love it. I haven't found a super secret mini or moment, but maybe someday I will.
There's Mewtwo. Yeah, no, Mewtwo could be an Ace Pokemon as normal, or an Aero Pokemon as shiny, I guess. But you're missing the black, so that wouldn't be quite as good. Ooh, Galarian Articuno would be a good Ace Pokemon.
Would. Definitely would.
Gay Flag is pretty cool. I guess Flash is kind of a non-binary flag. If you interpret, like, the metal as yellow.
Tell me about the Minior thing if you want. I feel like there's so many secrets in that game that I will never discover them all.
I still have not bought the game, but I'm hoping to at some point.
You'll definitely like it when you play it, because I remember
will.
I remember you really liking N64 Snap,
I
and
did.
the biggest criticism is it's just like the N64 one, but for me, the biggest selling point is it's
That
just like
was
the
a
N64
good
one.
game.
Yeah.
Ooh, it's just like this game that came out like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
That it's explicitly a reincarnation of.
Yeah. I don't know what some people were expecting, but I do understand if it's not your deal, because it is very relaxed and low-key.
7 out of 10, too many photographs.
It's an on-rail shooter, but I don't like it because the things don't die.
Because the things don't die?
Yeah, I mean, Pokemon Snap is an established genre of video games where you're on a set path and you shoot at enemies, but you're not shooting a gun, you're shooting a camera. So, like, it's
Oh,
funny
I
to
see.
see
You're
people...
you're not saying that the Pokemon should die. It's just whatever you're
No.
on reels shooting
No.
at should die.
It's funny to see people enjoy that genre when it's portrayed in a more edgy way, but they can't get into it when it's a similar skill level, but just portrayed in a way where you're taking pictures instead of flinging death.
Matthew, I enjoyed what I played of Divinity Original Sin 2. My favorite character was Fane. I definitely fucked the skeleton. But I could not finish it. I was crap at it. And this is like, despite me being able to finish like similar games, I don't know why I was unable to finish it. I just couldn't beat like one of like the first encounter you have in like the last sort of arc of the game. I couldn't get past it. I am fairly I'm not like super hyped. Because I've never played the original two, I started trying to play them, and I'm just like, nah, I'm going back to PoE. There's just too much like old school D&D stuff in them for me. But I'm excited to try it with like a new engine, essentially.
So, you said the breastplates, as I had them earlier, were too saggy. So, direct me on where to put them.
I think they look good. I would move them maybe a bit forward and a bit down. I think it was more the shape of them that bothered me.
Oh, yeah.
More
Well,
so
they were extremely rough.
Yeah, the shape now is a lot better.
Okay.
We're sorry for being too critical. Your artwork is lovely.
Yeah, your breasts, the breasts look good.
Your breasts look marvelously,
Your
breasts.
breasts
Thank
look,
you.
Your breasts look good.
Some like Mickey Mouse ears. Okay. I feel like my drawing isn't there's something that I'm not quite capturing from yours, Infinipede, because like I feel like my drawing is both too wide or like too squat and not squat enough.
I think the dress goes out more in mine. Like, it goes out wider.
Okay, I can try that.
Yeah, I think the angle of the dress is not as dramatic in yours, and that might be where it's coming from. That's, like, the main thing I notice. And Alec Mack also says it's the dress. So I tried that first.
Oh, damn. Okay.
It's not like up as much on the ends.
Yeah, yeah. I was fixing that, but then I misunderstood a setting that I was changing, and it screwed up what I was trying to do. So.
Oh yeah, the dress definitely looks better the way that you're angling it.
For sure.
Yeah, I think that helps. How's that?
Excellent.
Infinipede?
Looks good.
Alright. I will just clean it up a little bit, and then we'll put the colors on.
Ta-da! Sorry, I think we're both losing steam. we've been here for a while.
We all are.
I think the good news is that we made 2 really cool designs today. I like Infinipede's more than mine.
Yours a lot.
Well, thank you. We have embraced clothes on Pokemon. I'm proud of you.
I don't think you can do a Jinx without clothes.
I wasn't even gonna try.
Yeah, or without like
but,
cloth-like elements anyway.
Yeah.
Maybe you couldn't put it in a game rated E.
Yeah. Nude Jinx.
Computer, can I get a nude Jinx?
I'm sure you can.
Yeah, I mean, Rule 34 and all.
Yeah, I'm like, if you know where to look, I'm sure that's already out there.
Yeah, for sure. All Pokemon should have a tie and a top hat. I don't disagree. Pokemon Go is really good at introducing costume variants for Pokemon that are silly and great like that. I think the fans either love them or hate them when like a holiday rolls around and they're like, we have a new Pikachu with a new hat. But I'm personally like, yes, new hat. Yes.
New hat, new hat.
I haven't played Pokemon Go in a while, but
Me neither.
I never made a point of collecting the the special costume ones. I guess there was a Halloween event once that I did like what they looked like, but other than that, not much.
I mean, like, I live in a city now, so it's more playable than ever, but I don't have anyone to play it with.
Yeah, right.
When you come back to visit, we'll definitely play some Infinity.
Yeah, I also want to get you, I don't know if I was able to send it to you, but I got, I don't think I was. There's a church near me that's called, like, the Karen Church, because it's, like, the Karen language, right?
Huh?
But it's spelled, like, Karen.
Oh, that's very funny.
Yeah, so I keep wanting to send that to you, but it's like I don't have enough. Like I can't receive any messages because I don't have enough space in my bag or whatever.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah, I gotta figure out what I'm doing and go, and like if anyone else around me is playing it.
Well, what do you know? I booted up the game and there's a Pikachu with a funny hat right in my town. Speak of the devil.
I remember a time when I was like, I haven't caught a Pikachu. Like, I've never even seen a Pikachu. Or like, I think it actually took me a while to be able to find and catch a Pikachu. I think the first like 2 or 3 Pikachu that I found all ran away before I could catch them.
Oh, that's always a bummer when you find a new thing and you can't get it.
Yeah, it's the worst.
But it was so weird. It's just like, it's Pikachu. Why am I having so much trouble with Pikachu?
It's like Let's Go problems, where like hunting the shiny is the easy part and catching it's the hard part.
Oh yeah.
What do I think of Whale Lord? I like Whale Lord. It's a little simple design-wise, but it's got like a very round, cute silhouette, and it's especially nice to me when it's an insanely large size, like is portrayed in New Pokemon Snap or Pokemon Coliseum. It kind of loses a lot of its luster in battle in the recent games, where it's just like it's not big, which is its defining trait.
Yeah. Pretty much everything Banana Meteor said. It's cute. It's big. I wish it was bigger in other stuff. That's about it.
Yeah, like Sword and Shield almost really had it when you walk into the DLC area and there's that huge one that you can encounter, and then you get in battle with it and it's like the same size as all the other Pokemon. You're like, great, thank you.
Isn't it huge in battle, like when you're fighting it, and then it's normal everywhere else?
I don't even think it's big in battle when you're fighting it. I could be wrong, but
like it's a decent size, I think.
Yeah, like Coliseum was excellent at that. It was really good at representing Pokemon sizes, and as slow as the turn-based moves are in that game, that's one of the things I really love about it. It definitely cares about the world and the aesthetics that way.
Mm-hmm.
Just the I wish we would get more Pokemon games that had double battles as the default. Like spin-off Pokemon games. Double battles I think are so much more interesting than single battles.
Yep.
Just my personal opinion.
I don't love
that's not just your personal opinion. That is the correct opinion.
I don't love the over-centralization of Protect, how, like, in doubles, almost every Pokemon runs it, but, like, just removing that move would... Well, I don't really know if you want to remove it, because it's such a strategy.
I don't think you should remove it. Like, I get that you don't even need to run it on everything. There's a lot of other ways to deal with other moves. I ally switch, running band on something, stuff like that. And Protect is important for like the function of several key Pokemon, or not even just key Pokemon, but like Shedinja would be useless without Protect in doubles. And I like Shedinja.
Yeah.
But like I get that that's an issue with doubles, but other than that, like I don't know. There's so many things you can do in doubles, and Protect makes Feint useful, so that's something.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah, I used to run Feint on back when you could could use Pincer, I ran Fant on my Mega Pincer, and it was fun whenever someone was like, oh, I'm going to use Protect. It's like, nope, you're going to die. Rotation battles were cool. I wish they would bring those back. Triples, there were too many overpowered things you could do in triples.
I never did, like, competitive triples or, like, battling against someone else, but I did really like the variety of battle styles that you had in Generation 5 for, like, in the main game. I miss that.
Yeah.
I do think the default should be doubles, at least after a certain point in the game. Like, I guess it makes sense to start with singles, especially for like newer players who still need to like understand how type effectiveness works and things like that. It makes sense to start with the simpler approach to it, but you know, increase the complexity. Like, by the time you do the Elite Four, you should definitely be doing doubles.
Yeah. I would love a mainline Pokemon game that had doubles as the main battle type, but I don't know. I know it's not like... It's probably not gonna happen, but hey, it would be great if we could have a, like, spin-off that did doubles again.
Yeah. I just find it very strange that it's like, doubles are the officially sanctioned format, right, for competitive.
Yeah.
And yet the game doesn't train you on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of my favorite battle types, they had, I think they were called reverse battles, where like everything was super
inverse
effective
battles, yeah.
against the resistance types, and like things would resist things they were super effective against.
Oh, yeah.
They hurt my brain, but they were very cool that way.
Yeah, those were crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know, I just like alternate battle types.
Yeah, it's always fun to have more options.
Oh, the one thing I don't like for games that have double battles is that you can't battle them if you only have one Pokemon.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
And I've done a couple now of single Pokemon, like solo playthroughs. And then you go up to the double battle and you can't battle it.
Yeah.
I wanted to against one. There's a reason I'm doing a solo playthrough.
Thank you for correcting me on the name, inverse battles.
Yeah.
Did I have an Apple II computer when I was young? When I was young, God, I'm old. No, I'm not that old. Not old enough to have an Apple II. But I saw a meme today about how anyone who owns an N64 is old. So I guess I'm there.
Oh, I'm definitely there. Yeah.
Whoops.
I don't own one anymore. My girlfriend has like a Sega Genesis, but she's selling it.
Oh, tell your girlfriend to hit me up. I'm interested.
We need the money like soon because she lost her job. So
Okay.
if you if you would pay her right away to get it like through the mail or something, that would be doable. But otherwise, we're gonna sell it to like the local store.
At the very least, I would be interested in like a quote on the games that she has.
Oh yeah, she's not gonna sell all the games, I don't think. So I'll let her know.
Okay.
She's got some SNES games too.
My husband yelled at me from the other room. He was like, "No, don't buy more retro games." I'm sorry, Frankie, you chose this. I absolutely love retro games. I'm still like going to the store like on a monthly basis and being like, "Oh, what can I buy for the N64? What's new to me?" Yeah, I have a Genesis, but I don't have very many games for it, and I've been interested in expanding my library, so...
Yeah, I'll let her know.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because, like, at this point in time, like, she could definitely use the money, so... and I don't have enough to, like, loan her what she needs.
Yeah, we can work something out.
Yeah, sounds good. I still have that, like, shirt, by the way. The fruit one.
Oh, yes, yes.
Yeah, you guys just need to visit here for, like, a weekend.
I know. We would love to. We'll have to work it out. We have a busy holiday coming up. I have to visit my parents in Seattle. I think I have like a wedding to go to next weekend.
Oh, wow.
Hey, you're gonna be on my side of the continent.
Yeah, look at that. So we'll have to work something out, but
Yeah, like, if you guys just get, like, a weekend free, let me know. That would be great. Yeah, I'm excited because I'm going to the Dice Tower Retreat in a couple weeks. And that's like 5 days of just board gaming in Florida.
oh, that should be great. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. I'll also probably get to visit my grandparents. Like, I'm gonna talk to them about maybe if they want to fly me down like a day early, and I can hang out with them for a couple days. If not, I'll just drive.
Topic of retro games. You two don't happen to have an extra copy of Ruby or Crystal, do you?
I don't think I do.
Extra?
Okay.
No,
Extra.
I mean, I have one ruby and I have one crystal.
Yeah, those are the two I'm missing to have the full mainline collection, and
Wow.
I have an extra like emerald to trade, but I don't have anything else to. I guess boxes too, like some authentic boxes for the game, which I know go for a lot, but like that's such a specific subset of collectors who want to buy this.
My girlfriend, I think she has like one of the originals, so she might have Crystal or Ruby.
Yeah.
I don't collect, right? I don't buy games from other people just to have in my collection. I just still have the ones that I played with.
Right.
So.
I do a little of column A, a little of column B. Like obviously I want to have them so I can play them, but like it's not like I want to play them right now. It is kind of like a need to to complete the whole series at this point because I'm so close.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really don't collect like video games. When I collect stuff, it's usually like physical things or things that I can't find digitally. Like I have my Dojin collection. I collect cat plushies, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think at the moment I don't collect anything. Like, there is nothing that I specifically like go looking for completing the collection. I have a lot of Pokemon games, but I'm not gonna go buy ones that I don't have. I'm not even collecting Pokemon cards, so.
Yeah, I don't do Pokemon cards. I sold out of mine, and I have like a very small collection in April's binder. I probably have like 20 cards, and they're all just like Pokemon I really like. But there's plenty of other things I collect, of course.
Yeah.
People in chat are talking about people who will inspect your game and see if it's counterfeit or not. That is very important for Pokemon games because they are the most bootlegged games ever, just because of the popularity and their price point for authentic. So
Yeah.
the only way you can really tell is by opening up to check the board, but like there's a lot of tells on the outside too. N64 carts are starting to be a thing that's bootlegged a lot as well, so I'm privy to the changes that I should be looking for.
Yeah, collecting Dojins is different from collecting manga because people can just come out with more and I'll be like, well, I need these or I don't need these. Like, I have a lot of like Omokokichi dojins, but I can't get all of them because that would be too much money and things that I can't find or don't have.
Yeah. I feel that. Dojin seems like a fun thing to collect though, because you're supporting a lot of independent artists.
Yeah, it's definitely, it's fun, and you know, you can grab stuff that like not a lot of people are gonna have, or like people are gonna scan, and then if you want to like scan it and like have somebody translate it, you can like pay some money and have them do that. Like there's some where it's like, yeah, I can translate this, but I cannot like completely understand it, so I'd appreciate if somebody who knows more than I can, you know, tell me what's up.
For real. So it looks like Jinx is done over there.
Yeah, she looks great.
I'm just looking at the colors a little bit, just like for minor adjustments.
I would like to see the yellow skew a little more cool than warm. Just I think
agree.
for the type.
It's a little more like bright orange right now, and while I get that you're looking at like my marker drawing, I only had like yellow and orange markers.
Well, there's more that I wanted to make, because you have a very obvious difference between like the breastplate yellow and the hair and fur yellow.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to make sure that that difference was
I get you, yeah.
maintained.
I guess like you could either go like completely blonde with all of the hair and fur details, or you could like just make it cooler.
How do you make a cool yellow without it going green?
Make it green.
No. Then it'll look like she swam in the pool and had like a bad dye job.
I think the answer is just make it a little less saturated. Maybe if it went a little... But I guess that goes to the breastplate color, huh?
Yeah, more or less.
Once then.
Like, I could do, like, go the other way.
Just like go, I guess go more towards like what original Jinx had. Yeah, that looks good.
Yeah.
I actually like that.
That works for me. The fur looks more like fur, I think.
It does, yeah. I just did not have like that color to use with the markers. I need to get more of the colors to blend and stuff.
In that case, I would probably want to make the breastplate actually a little bit more orange, a little bit more golden.
Sure.
I guess more like the color that I had for the hair.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. I think that looks better. You're happy with the way that looks?
I like that a lot.
I'm very happy with her, yeah.
Cool.
It's a very icy yellow. It's a very icy yellow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that works. And you're happy with that blue?
I'm good with it.
Okay.
I can't wait to see Jinx and Mr. Mime done.
Do you think they'd hang out in real life? Do you think they'd like play cards?
Maybe, yeah.
Play Fortnite together? I don't know what kids do these days.
Or would we even call them kits?
I think so. I mean, obviously anyone can play it in the same way that we're adults talking about Pokemon, but I think it mostly appeals to children.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, are these two, are Jinx and Mr. Mime kids?
I don't think so. At least not Jinx. My Jinx is definitely not a kid.
They could be. I guess they'd be kids if they were Smoochum and Mime Jr., but those don't exist.
Now.
Those don't exist in our universe.
Exactly.
But they could someday.
Everyone is always asking, are you gonna do Generation 2, are you gonna do the evolutions? And my answer is always, I'm gonna do Generation 1.
Yeah.
After that, we'll see.
Yeah, exactly.
You mean you don't want to do this for another 10 years?
I mean,
You know? Like, because we're going somewhat slowly by doing, like, one stream a month. But sometimes I think back, like, if we had actually done one a month at the beginning, we would have been done by now.
Yeah.
Because I think at the very beginning we did, like, maybe... Well, we did 3 to start, or we did all the starters to start, and then we did, like, one a week for a little bit.
Yeah, and then it tapered off.
And then at one point it was like, it's been 8 months.
Yeah. I think the one a month is going pretty dang good. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's going well.
I'm sorry that my neighborhood exploded last week. I'm glad that we could regroup for this week.
I mean, we tend to have stuff come up, and it usually ends up, like, often we have to postpone. But that's fine, as long as we're getting it done, like, one a month.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's have a look. When is the next one? In theory?
Fingers crossed that nothing explodes in my neighborhood next month.
Yeah,
we can only hope.
If none of our neighborhoods have anything exploding,
it will not be the 13th, as those are my designs, and I will be at the Dice Tower retreat.
Oh, okay.
It will be the 20th.
Okay.
Sorry.
Oh, is the 6th not cool?
We could do the 6th. I mean, we just can't do the 13th.
Yeah.
I mean, literally any Saturday but the 13th.
Okay. Let's put it on the 20th. I think that's going to be more secure for me, because I'm trying to organize a recording of Tin Tower Talks, my podcast, and that might be on the 30th, in which case my, like, normal art stream that would be on the 30th would get pushed to the 6th.
Okay.
So, yeah, I think that's safer to make sure it doesn't conflict with anything.
Yeah.
So, and what are we doing next? Scyther and Pincer. I think I would really like to work on Scyther if I had any ideas for it.
I can put you down as a helper.
Sure.
Okay, and I am officially down for the Magikarp, Dratini, and Moltres designs, right? Those are me?
Yes.
That's me. Okay, I wrote those down so I won't forget.
Oh man, because I keep hiding, like, the ones that we already did, the spreadsheet looks so short now.
Yeah,
We're approaching the end.
We're basically we're practically done. So yeah, so Scyther and Pincer next, and then we've got Electabuzz and Magmar to think about afterwards. And I think Ness, that we should do that kind of like we were talking for the birds.
in tandem.
Yeah, like
Okay.
they are counterparts, so
Definitely.
if we can, yeah, those are, like, definitely counterparts.
Yeah.
And so if we can, like, come up with an overarching concept for both of them, and then we can independently figure out each one.
Like, I can toss you, like, a sketch for Magmar at some point. Like, even if it's before Scyther Pincer, I could just toss you my general idea for Magmar, and then we can work from there. Or
Yeah.
you can toss me Electabuzz, and we can work from there.
Yeah, I don't think I have, like, a solid idea of what I want Electabuzz to look like, but it's just a Pokemon that I really like.
Yeah.
Or the
Electabuzz
whole
great,
family is
so-
one that I really like. So
Yeah. Yeah, I can just generally toss you, like, in particular, I think Magmar's head is the biggest part of it. Like, its head and its hindquarters are, like, the biggest parts of it I want to redesign, so.
Right. For me,
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, for me, I think, like, Electabuzz is cool, but both Elekid and Electivire have, like, more interesting elements to them, so I would probably want to bring in some stuff from those.
Yeah, same with Magmortar and Magmar.
Yeah. So...
He's not quite keeping the duckbill, you'll see.
Okay.
I'm not completely getting rid of it, but you'll see what happens.
All right. Yeah, I'll have to think about what I want to do with Electabuzz, but I'll let you know. Thank you everyone for watching.
Have, like, similar body types. So.
Yeah.
Everyone's been really engaged today, and I'm surprised that people like our designs so much.
Yeah.
Thank you. We had some weird Pokemon to work with, so
I think we knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, I think we did a good job.
I think they both look great. And I think, as Charon says, even though they were not intended to be counterparts, they do actually end up looking like counterparts.
Yeah.
They're like the psychic clothing Pokemon, I guess.
Yeah, it makes sense. And Jinx has a lot of hair, and Mr. Mime doesn't have a lot of hair.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. All right. We'll see you next month. Thank you everyone for watching. Yeah. I don't have anything else to plug.
Cool.
Goals, as Karen just said.
All right. Bye everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Cool.